Did he save his sound settings?
I didn't
He
need
did.
to. I didn't need to because everyone kept saying that the sound is good, so apparently it is good from what it was last time.
No.
Save them.
Save them anyway. You
Alright,
mentioned
I'll
it,
save
you
them
save
again.
it.
You made
Save
me freak
settings.
out and save mine from all this.
Yeah, you
was like-
literally made him freak out
Yeah.
about it.
I was like, I've
Yeah.
never saved this. What's happening?
Good name. Named it. There we go. Saved.
Kyle.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Good. We're all good then. It'll be a short session. Size and 5-6 hours long again. No. It'll be good. So last time, in Secrets of a Million Depths, our band of adventurers had finally found their way to their supposed destination, where this strange concoction of focus of lenses and a piece of rock kind of material led them in the direction that they needed to go, and revealed what seems to be a brute, scarcely made excavation site, of which a couple of devil-looking entities were found at the entrance of it. One flew away, back in the direction that they came from, and they chose to start combat with this devilish entity, of which was revealed to be in control of an earth elemental. The battle continued, and they eventually prevailed with
Just like how.
a very interesting, unorthodox method of slaying, and eventually retrieving whatever this item is that the devil used to control the earth elemental entity. And so the party decided to gather around to rest after their arduous battle, on one of which Lila chose to use her Song of Rest, which in her own way is a puppet theater, which was revealed many different things, and it is now that you find yourselves attempting to relax, regardless of how disturbing the puppet theater may have been. It was a distraction. It allowed you to take your minds off of your various different wounds, whoever may have them, and your exhaustion. And now you find yourselves resting for the time being. The time is yours.
First short rest we've had since episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
would
how
like
does
to
the
bring
short
up
rest work
that-
again?
For a short rest, you can use your hit die, which you gain every level, which means every single one of you have 3 hit dice that you can spend however many you wish to regain hit points. There are some of you receive back different abilities. I believe the fighter gets the action surge back. And many others. You can see on your stat sheets and your
Yeah.
classes to see what you gain.
I didn't know. I just didn't know
back.
if I got healed. So,
Yeah,
you're gonna have
so
to-
Yeah, so you spend the hit dice if you
your hit dice is a
need to
D10.
heal. Yeah.
Can-
You get 3 of them,
So
and every short.
you can, yeah, you can roll your hit dice and add your Constitution modifier,
Mhm.
and add that many hit points. You get your hit dice back half of your maximum each long rest.
Yep.
I believe.
That is correct.
Okay.
So
Let me do some math here.
And one of
Wait,
the
you, sorry.
And because I used Puppet Theater of Rest, you regain an extra D6.
so a
Okay,
D10
thank you.
and a D6 plus your con modifier.
The D6 you can only get one of though for this rest. So
Whatever
might as
you
well do
need.
that first.
Oh, I can do it separate? I thought I had to call it before I did it.
You don't. You can only. Well, I guess to
can-
clarify.
yeah,
so
you can
long
only
as you are
use if
spending
you.
one hit dice, at
I'm
least
using
one,
at least one hit die.
then you get the D6.
Okay. I was trying to calculate if I needed to use 2 or 1, so this will work.
All right.
D&D, this is the first time I've ever played D&D. Hold on.
It's no problem. Well, taking our time.
I'd also like to bring up the place where we cut
Aw.
off last week.
Aw,
cocked.
aw.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
This is cocked. But yeah, I'm gonna roll the extra one.
3.
Oof.
Then not the D6.
6. Total 6.
It was cocked on the 15 one.
So 6
So
plus
7.
1 plus your con mod.
Then I can roll the extra if I decide to.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna move these out of your way.
Thank you, sir. Oh, cool.
Are you fucking kidding
Wow,
me?
dude.
Oh, wow.
But that's still now that's 2 con mods of healing
Correct.
because that's 2 hit dice spent. So
Um,
1,
So
2,
16.
8. Yeah, there you go. Pretty
Damn,
good
you
amount of healing.
18 con.
So
Huh? Yes, I did.
18 con. Jesus Christ.
19.
Yeah.
19.
19. Holy shit.
Ben's is fucking jacked.
he
Can drink poison and survive. Fuckers.
can hold his shield and his sword with his back muscles.
Flex my butt and it just
now
stays
it
put.
makes sense.
This is so...
Like that fucking. It's like that fucking
Um,
picture of Tarzan carrying.
Oh,
Jane.
yeah.
He's clearly on the vine, but both of his hands are carrying her.
I was thinking of the Wonder Woman, of her having her sword on her back, on her dress, even though she has no, no harness, nothing to hold it on, just clenching her butt
Ouch,
cheeks.
dude. Oh no.
So something you told us we were gonna have to, or told me I'd have to wait until this session to get the answer to was the
Yes.
identify on the thing.
Yes. Alright. Let
So I
me...
get all my abilities
Oh, wait.
back now.
That's right. I can spend my own hit dice. Holy shit. Totally forgot.
Wow. I don't know.
That part is I need a long rest.
5.
Oof.
I just need a short rest, so I'm okay.
26 stuck. Yes. it
And
is.
I'm already full health anyway because I had the ability to heal. And then I got it back because we got a
Alright.
short rest.
Looks like I'm at full health. Let's go.
Let's go.
It's 1 hit dice for me.
I think I'm out of short rest abilities to use before we started this short rest.
Oh god, that's right.
One of the biggest reasons why I like being elf.
Yeah.
Alright. So you did identify, correct?
Yeah, I did do the ritual cast of identify on the
What is
rock
the
or whatever.
specific of identify? Choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. Instead, touch a creature. Alright.
Basically, I get the magic item card for a magic item.
Yep. I will send this to you.
Oh my god. Real quick, before we get too into it, I just remembered a dream I had last night that I really wanted to
Oh
share
boy.
it with
Well,
everyone.
let's fucking go. Okay.
We were doing the last session we played, you know, where we were fighting the devil. It was when I got him to drop the rock for the first time. I picked it up, time froze, and I just heard, "A new hand touches the beacon." And then I woke up.
That's how I thought it went out. I don't know about you. It's great. Let me.
Right now, I'm receiving the messages on what this thing is saying to me.
Yes. I'll send it on Discord to you specifically.
Just what we need. Zad to start hearing another voice.
When in doubt, be more schizophrenic.
Must be true.
Alright, that is what you have on this specific item.
Alright.
And inspecting it further, I'm gonna have to ask you to make me an intelligence check, since your keen mind is not currently at work.
Yeah.
Not with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. It's not a skill check?
Sorry?
It's not a skill check?
Oh wait, are you exhausted?
Yeah, I still have
Oh
a point
yeah.
of exhaustion.
Okay. Yeah. Go on then. Sorry, I thought you were doing because of the previous session. Go ahead.
I'm just still exhausted.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, and so I know nothing.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of
tired,
rock.
Guys. Well, I know everything about what it does magically.
Yeah, of course.
Just don't know anything special about the rock right now. My
That
eyes
is
are
what you
blurry.
get.
Can't see. Can't look at it straight. There's two rocks in my hand for some reason.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do?
No.
I think I'm good.
I would
thought-
like to.
Yeah.
I would like to examine the hole.
Examine the hole. All right.
We're gonna do that, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
Oh, we all
after our
doing
rest.
that? Okay, cool. We're doing that after the rest, and
I thought you had an interaction, Darian, after her puppet theater, or.
Honestly, don't remember. I think I'm good. I think it was just me saying how enthralled I was by it.
All right.
I think I did it in text form as well.
Milo, after the puppet theater, he'll put away his own puppet. Looks very tired. I think I'm unsure. I said I would follow you guys until here, and I'm happy that I did. That was a lot of very necessary exercise. But I feel that I may need to make my way to continue my own journey. I do not know what you may find down there. I might still just take a look, but I have a feeling like this will be a lot more than I can handle. But I'm sure that you will all be able to. Sorry?
maybe you can hang out with Kobas by the horses while we go check.
You did say you were being followed, so I guess I can do that. Sure.
The company is much appreciated. We'd hate to see you leave.
So is all of yours. This was a very interesting little bit of a journey. May have caught you halfway, but definitely be a page in my book, and I appreciate all of you for that. I'll still be here. I'll set up my things, and if you need me, I'll be up here setting up camp for all of you. I might stay the night. I'm really tired. But let me know what you find down there. I will be very curious.
I need my sparring partner.
I'm kind of wondering if it's a good idea if we rest before going into the hole anyway.
I mean, we can do another practice on the morning. If you don't get killed down there.
I don't plan on getting killed quite yet.
I trust you. Confidence in that.
I'm a stubborn old man, it'll take more than that.
And walks up. I appreciate your help, Milo, and it has been an honor to have you around. You've been of much help, and it's sad to see you leave, but I am sure you have a lot in front of you. Yeah, I'll leave you guys to it. He'll start walking past Lila, and he'll come close. He'll put a hand on her shoulder. It is no secret that you're hurting. Let him help. Won't do any harm to do so.
Work an eyebrow at him. If that's how you want to interpret that, sure.
There are many different ways, but I know pain when I see it, and that is a type of it. Just take care of yourself. Very precious. And too beautiful to die this young. Gives you a wink. Continues walking.
Well, that was odd.
Grabs a mule. Start preparing stuff. Now, if no one has anything that they would like to do, the hour will pass on with the Song of Rest having been finished. And you all regain whatever it is that you regain in your classes and whatever hit points you decide to use. Did Patui get hurt? I'm assuming.
I'm going to go with no, because if you look at the calculator, it says 25. And if you look over here on this other thing, it also says 25.
On what thing? Oh, here. Okay. Alright. Good. Then, what do you do?
So after the hour, I'm gonna...
Yeah.
I think it's time we probably investigate that giant gaping hole.
I agree.
I will be up here. If you need me to go down, just let me know. I will come down to inspect anything, but this is where I leave things to you all. For I do not know what is down there. Oh. I can definitely make some. That's what you need. I can start in that right away.
I don't know if we have time for that.
You don't need to. I will work on it.
Silently pull out folio. Wait for them to finish. Just say, maybe save the cups for when we have a confirmed amount of living members.
That. I don't like that. Alright. He just goes to his horse and starts fidgeting with his saddlebag. So, you have full control of the map, and you can go whatever you wish.
Well, you see, there's this hole over here.
Right, move to it. You know, RP.
I mean, I am going to try and not be close to the front because I am as useless as it gets right now.
Where did the demon die?
The devil died over here.
Yeah.
You're different. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna try to inspect his corpse a bit.
As you get to the devil, you see that there's very little left. As soon as you see a bunch of mud, the mud is wet around him, a little bit singed, and it just seems to be like a large puddle. Even the trident that it used just gone.
How long would it take to do something like harvest body parts of a devil?
There are no body parts left. It is just a giant puddle of
Okay, got it.
muck.
In the future, we'll maybe see.
Maybe.
Can't even get a fingernail?
Sadly. Maybe one that got stuck on you when he slashed you. But
He didn't slash me. He missed everything.
wow, okay. Thanks.
DM
Thanks,
bad at rolling confirmed.
I also have a decent AC for a wizard.
You do. Also the
Mage armor.
mage armor. But yeah. So what you're doing.
The only thing I got going for me for the entirety of this dungeon delve. Mage armor.
I'll get close to the edge of the hole and kind of look in.
Alright, give me a perception check.
Got dark vision. I might as well look down that hole. Oh lord.
I also have dark vision, so.
Oh, does Patui have dark vision?
Yes, it's
He's
on the
a
sheet.
elf, yes.
15. No,
Alright,
with
I'll roll Patui's perception real quick.
Perception. Where's my d20?
perception. Oh, I got
It's your
20.
ball. Oh, 20. Alright.
A dirty 20 though. It's 15. Yes.
12.
We got 12. I 10 plus something. Probably also 12.
Alright, 20, 12.
Yeah, me and Patui both got 12, but I do not have dark vision.
Yeah. You would do it with disadvantage if you don't have dark vision.
I already had disadvantage, so.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Alright, with a 20 vial, looking into the hole, you can see a few. They seem to be roughly made rock steps at the bottom, but it seems to be a dark pit at about 50 feet down. And at the very edge, in the bottom, you can see the roughly made steps of rock. That is when your vision stops, and you no longer see anything else.
Okay, so we've got a 50-foot descent to start this with, right?
Yes.
That's what I caught.
We have rope.
I have, yes.
Do we have enough to get down?
I have 100 foot of hempen rope. I have block and tackles. I have a grappling hook, I'm pretty sure, somewhere around on here.
Alright.
We've got what we need to try and descend this. We might need more than 100 foot of rope, but I don't know for sure. Because you only saw up to 50 foot.
That's
You saw up to 50 foot, and then there was ground where the steps
Okay,
start.
okay.
And then you didn't see
I
anything.
have vision up
further.
to 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure I understood.
Yeah.
So,
we're going down.
give me the actions. What are you doing?
How far away is this log right here? To the hole.
15,
So
20
15,
feet.
20 feet. 20 plus going down 50.
That's
5,
70 total.
7, 8, 80. So we can use the whole rope. Maybe we can use the log to help us.
You're trying to say use the log as an anchor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's heavy, and if we go down one
I-
at a time, it should hold us all.
If we do that, I would suggest rolling a couple of larger rocks in front of it as well,
Yeah,
just
I'll-
in case our weight is too much for it. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Definitely.
As you say that, I'm gonna go and pick up the largest rock I see, which I think is this one over here.
Oh boy, give me a strength check.
That's
Let's
a big rock.
see this.
It is a big rope.
I'm a big man. It's fine.
Big boy.
The weak wizard is going to give you advantage somehow.
I yell from the sideline of support.
The weak wizard that currently has disadvantage
17.
is gonna give you advantage. 17. Yeah, with relative ease. It's still a massive fucking rock, but you're able to grab it off of the ground.
Boulder with relative ease.
And once I
And
get
then you can
get
carry
done
it.
helping you lift
Rap
that, I'm
territory.
going to go retrieve my rope and such from the pack mule that we need.
All right. You
Wanna
ask
carry the
Milo for it.
rock?
Milo just, since he's already
Pop down
pulling
here.
stuff out, he grabs some of the rope that he put from the pack mule and just throws it to you.
As I'm carrying the rock, I'm gonna smirk at Violent. It's like, are you gonna carry your weight anytime soon?
I did. I thought of the plan.
Well,
Oh yeah, big plan. Use the rope.
You're welcome.
he's also the one that saw
Uh.
that we needed the plan.
Maybe next time I'll just let you jump in the hole.
I mean, we could have thrown you down and see how long it takes you to fall.
Then he walks away. Alright, you place down the rock. I'm assuming you're putting the rope around the tree first and then putting the rock on top of the rope, or are you tying the rope around the trunk and the rock?
I was
is the
thinking we
actual
were
plan
tying the rope around the trunk of the tree itself, and then the rock, and then a rock
Or
or
we'll
two
be on
is
top
being
of.
and then a
top
rock
of
to
the
in
its
front
what?
of the tree in case it starts trying to pull from our own weight. It would get blocked by the giant rock.
Right, so on
But
top of the
also
rope.
Be on
Yeah,
top of the rope. Yeah.
gotcha.
That way,
Um,
if it'll hold the rock.
Okay,
without
so
the
it's
benders.
I'd say for this tree it's about 10 feet to tie it around the trunk, and then there would be 15 feet, 20
To the edge
feet
of the hole?
to the about 15 feet. We can say 15 feet to the edge of the hole, and then 50 more feet down.
50 more feet, right?
Yeah, 50 more feet all the way
Yeah.
to the ground.
So that would use a total of.
If we
10,
use all of
25,
it,
75.
Okay, so 25 foot will be coiled on the ground at the bottom.
yeah. So we're good. We're set.
All right, you tie it up. Whoever's tying it, give me a dexterity check real quick.
It needs to not be me. I'll do
Fine.
it.
Just in case.
I'll do it.
My fingers are
Alright.
trembling. I'm having a hard time looking at the rope right.
Give me a dexterity check real quick.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I also, as I'm tying this, I would also like to mention I will go first.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And 11. plus
Dexterity
that,
modifier.
12.
Well, it's pretty good. You feel like the rock is making the most of the heavy lifting here, but the knot is good enough to hold. So you throw the rope down, falls, and you can hear all the way around the rope reach the floor. Now, would you like to go down yourself first?
Before he goes down, I'm gonna like dust off my hands, bend over, pick up the rope, smirk, and I say, "Ladies first."
I'll pull
I'm
out my
gonna-
sword. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just had to switch it real quick. I'd like to pull out my sword, grab it with my hand, and then say, "I'll see you on the ground." Oh, seen that already a couple times. And then start making my way down.
Ooh, the fucking shades this session. Jeez. Nice. All right. You slowly
Send
make your way
Patui down next, just so we don't forget about him.
Before
Um,
Tui gets on, I look over at Lila's like, I could cut this right now.
But don't ruin my rope. We'd have to put it back together. It'd be a whole thing.
I have this very real moment where like I'm staring at you. Like not disapprovingly. I look between the hole. You. Hole. You. Maybe on the way back out.
Notebook makes a good point. Rope is pretty valuable.
Only because it's hard to replace right now.
All right. How far
Will
are you
hear any of this, by the
waiting?
way? Is he down far enough that he can't hear this? or-
Depends on how long you took to start talking
It
trash.
was, it was pretty quick.
Alright, then he probably hears you, but he's
Okay,
kind of
okay, just making sure.
he's
I
kind
want
of
him to hear it,
concentrated.
you know?
Miles just climbing down like, fuck you guys.
What are you holding your sword with?
No. I just like wanted to say that, and then I put my sword away.
Ah, alright. Put your sword away.
What the?
How long are you guys waiting for him? Are you waiting for him to reach the ground to go next, or you
Definitely.
guys sort of?
I thought the point was for him to get down there and then call back up
Well,
if
that's
needed.
what I'm wondering.
I'm
Yeah, yes, that is.
confused
Alright.
if I'm wrong.
I'm gonna shout down. What do
alright.
you see?
Wait,
Wow.
is that the
start
plan?
going-
What?
It is now.
That's dumb.
Well, it's happened.
So late. You start going down the hole, slowly but surely. You can still feel and smell the dust in the air, from what you assumed to have been the excavation. And as you finally reach the ground, let go of the rope, and you turn around quickly, pull out your sword, ready for anything. And you see small steps going downwards, about 10 feet more, and then you see a wide open space. It opens up, and you see at the very distance of your vision, your dark vision, you see a faint yellow glow about 10 feet up in the air. And it seems to be lighting up. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like a stone book. And there seems to be more, but it's just faint enough that you can't see. And that is all you see.
Does Patui still have spell slots?
I will.
That. I don't
I
know.
will start walking towards the glow.
Alright, are you you're not calling up to
Are
him?
you not gonna call back up?
Oh, I'll yell out, "It's safe," and then I'll start walking towards the glow before anyone starts coming down.
Patui next, because
Two goes down.
I'm
Patui,
Patui,
I'm
I'm
climbing
climbing
down
down
the
the rope.
Why does it sound like it's coming through a radio?
I need to find a forest.
Yeah, see?
Sometimes it talks like that. This is how I portray Patui. Deal with it.
Very good. Perfect. Tui goes down. He reaches the floor. He looks around, holding his staff, and he sees Vile moving forward. You know, I'll roleplay him. Fuck it.
Oh, sure. You don't like it when I do with the voice. I got you.
Oh, right. Wow.
Oh,
Some nature pun. Wow.
Vile, what are you doing? Shouldn't we wait for the others?
No, I'll just kind of stay quiet and continue to move forward.
Wow, the most cautious Patui ever.
Alright.
Honestly,
This is out of character.
out of
He's supposed to
character.
wander off alone. What do you mean?
He's already did this, so it's
It's a
the
joke,
two
it's
is
a
playing the character.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was just a joke. It was just
Alright.
calm yourself, Jake.
I'm good.
God,
Did-
raise
He
the
starts
voice.
following slowly behind you, Vile. And anyone else? I
I'm
want
gonna
to
look
know.
to them like, well, who's next?
Well, it should probably be somebody who needs whatever. I don't know.
He's
I gave up. I missed my own
brains
statement halfway
jumbled.
through. Yeah.
This is also in character because of your broken brain.
Yeah.
Patui like started like hustling after Vile.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll go down next.
Alright. Vile starts making her way.
I'll go down because I'm probably the worst one to leave alone right now.
Alright. Slowly make
If
your
something
way.
suddenly showed up while the next person was going down, I'd be screwed.
And then
Just
I'll
jump.
go last.
Forehead.
Alright. One by one.
Tentatively
Make
testing the rope because I don't trust Vile's knot, and then climbing down.
your way. Alright. He's over here. And
Devil. Is that
Uh,
okay?
oh,
Yeah, it's my new
take the
pet.
devil.
Leave me alone.
Yeah,
I can't get to your
Alright.
secret stash, so I just put it.
I'm pulling
Uh,
my pieces off the table so you can change stuff.
Oh, I got it. Just put everyone here. Let me go grab the map.
For once, Kulu is bringing up the rear.
Wow.
Somebody has to do the heavy lifting.
Covering, well, I mean, normally it's you and Vile are normally
Yeah, yeah.
completely swapped. You're covering the front and he's covering the 6, and
I got you. I got you.
everything else is pretty much the same.
It just makes sense, though. You know?
Right. And upload.
Nice.
There you go.
Ominous.
Let me adjust. Hold on. Advertise. I'm gonna adjust the
Yeah. Oh god, my eyes. They're so pained because I'm not averting them.
Thank you. That was much necessary. Alright. Vile, you being the first one, start making your way slowly forwards. And you see that this hole, of course, seems to be very... the only way to describe it would be punched in. The walls seem to have rough holes, massive holes into them, and it doesn't seem to be a professional excavation job. And of course, the thing that you see at the very edge, make me a perception check. And everyone else that follows behind may do so as well.
I'm lighting a torch when I get down to the bottom, by the way, for me and Kulu.
Real quick, obviously we're gonna have to start tracking what Squig did last session. Did he use any real spells except for one pass without? Oh, actually, he used a moonbeam. He used a pass without trace and used an ice knife.
Yes.
I think he used 2 ice knives.
Did he?
He did one when he was flying up in the sky, and I think he did one at first, right after casting Moonbeam. Am I incorrect in that?
I don't recall that first one after casting Moonbeam. It's possible.
We can just write it off. It's not too much of a problem. And
But
we
yeah,
can
perception.
look it up here.
Distract.
Yes, perception checks all around. Everyone.
Hulu, you have a torchlight for you and your perception check to not be at disadvantage.
Thanks, sir. 19.
Put them in the chat.
I'll roll one for Squig.
His is +5.
Ooh. Kept rolling.
It's not. There's not even a point in me putting mine out there. Just pretend I didn't see shit.
11.
'Cause I pretty much didn't.
God, how many fucking spell slots does he track these?
He doesn't have them tracked here,
It probably has it on a sheet. Paper sheet.
and I don't remember if I tracked for him last time. I'm double checking right now.
Okay, that's fine. I can work with this. Just open
No,
up
I
another
didn't.
copy of the player's handbook.
He should have 4 1 slots and 2 2 slots total.
Total. Alright, so he's used both of his 2 slots,
Okay.
and he either has 2 or 3 1 slots.
What are we going with? Because I'm typing it
Yes.
down and tracking it right now.
Carry on. I'm gonna see if I can quickly skim last episode.
Okay, I'm just gonna put 1.
Alright, thank
He's
you.
definitely used at least 1, so I've got that
Yes.
written down.
100% he's used at least 1.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be 19, 17, 19, 11. Alright.
And it doesn't matter. Here, I'll put it in anyway.
Okay. So. Well, as you move forward in this excavation site, the image that you see at the very edge of your vision gets clearer and clearer. See what seems to be a massive archway door underneath. The door itself is split in its middle. It's very heavy stonework. The door is about 15 feet wide and 25 feet tall, made out of dark gray stone. You see, in front of it, embedded into the door, there is a humanoid statue, slightly lighter gray coloring compared to the door itself. The humanoid statue's facial features consist of 2 parallel mouths, one on top of the other, elongated, almost exaggerated jawline, and undefined cheekbones, 2 dark, beady eyes of some gem that you're unsure of as of this moment. No facial hair, including eyebrows, blank expression, representing more of a man in appearance than a woman. And you see no indication of nose or ears. The skin texture is relatively jagged, almost earthly. And it doesn't seem to be due to the stone carving, but more purposeful in its artistic representation. This entity doesn't seem to be of any race that you know. You do see a very prominent feature to be 2 jagged rock horns adorning its head, curling up in an arch, ending with pointed tips. The entity is clothed with long robes that go down to the calves, runes, small embroidery along the neck, down the torso. The runes do not, and there are other runes atop of those. It is a strange strange, I guess, setup. Doesn't seem to be conforming to the actual statue. Almost more like the runes itself were projected into it, as if it was a sheet of paper. This entity also has two pairs of arms. One set seems to be holding a book at its front that is open with a yellow shimmering light across its pages. To mid-torso, across its pages, holding aloft into its mid-torso. And the other set is raised up, reaching out towards a spherical shape atop its head. The spherical shape itself seems to be also just made out of rock, but seems to be a darker material. Right in between the spherical shape and this entity's head, there is a massive knocker that is about 16 feet up above the humanoid's head. And the knocker itself is about 4 feet in radius. And that is what you see in front of you. An all-striking piece of architecture, ancient structure. What was that? That is that. What do you do?
I'll continue to move forward.
Real quick, I was trying to catch things. So overall, it's a big fucking door with a statue on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just needed to make sure I didn't make that up.
No. Yeah, I'll continue to walk forward.
You gotta remember that Zad can't see shit. He doesn't have dark vision. And Darian. Neither of them have.
I have a torch lit.
Torch?
Yeah, I do have a torch lit. I
Right.
stated
You did
that.
say that.
I didn't hear it.
He
Sorry.
said when he reaches the bottom, he'll be lighting
Ah.
up the torch.
Gotcha. Alright. Alright, do go on. Anyone that doesn't have dark vision can't see this yet. It is relatively far away. The torch only has a certain reach.
I'll walk in a little bit further, and then I'll stop and turn around. Let them know about the door.
You say?
Yeah, I know. I was good. Roll play. Oh. There's a door. The big one. The statue. And right above it is a knocker.
I don't think we're opening that door.
If you guys would like to examine it more, he has a torch. I'm going to continue towards the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll walk off into the darkness.
The two will follow you.
Kind of back by
I
Darian.
guess we should follow.
Yeah.
Lead the way, man with sword.
So.
Yeah, I definitely believe we're going to examine the book first and then the door.
The book
I think that's
is
the right move.
relatively high. Can't
Also,
exactly
still
reach it.
very large.
By
Yeah.
relatively, how high?
10 feet.
Let me put it up again.
I believe is what you said.
And
It's about
is
10.
Is that to scale there? On how big that book is?
This would be. I can't make the grid any bigger, but it's Currently, the book is 1, 2, 3, 4, around 4 blocks,
Yeah.
which is essentially 20 feet. That is not accurate. The door itself is 25. So the book would be around.
I mean, it's still a massive fucking door.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so the book itself, though, is about half the size of the door. A little less. Maybe
Yeah.
a third.
Relatively in
And
comparison.
10 feet
Alright.
straight up off the ground.
Yeah.
Big enough that if, say, somebody lifted somebody, they could get up there and stand on it.
You could possibly grab onto the edge. It is slightly tilted upwards, so it makes it a bit further up than just 10 feet, but with a bit of effort, maybe you could. Who's doing it?
Carrying
Get somebody
control
up
me.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest you want to boost. Bio.
If it'll get us up there, then yeah.
All right.
I'll put my
form
sword
that
away.
That little cup thing with your hands. You do. You know what I mean? Like where you block your fingers
Give
in.
him a piece. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The little
I'll
ups.
put my foot onto his hands and put my hands on his shoulders and get ready to jump when he lifts me.
All right.
Try to reach
I'm
for
gonna
the book.
launch you like a fucking projectile.
Nice. All right. No, I think it's more than enough because you two are already relatively tall, and you wouldn't need a strength saving throw for that extra bit of height. So
Okay, so then he just lifts me, and then I'll just grab onto the edge and pull myself.
yeah, give me a dexterity check. That I will say you would need a dexterity check to grab it. Let's just see how this goes.
18 plus 1 is 19.
Easy. Fucking grab it with your hand, and then the other one. Slowly pull your way up. And you get to the top of it. You see the book laid out in front of you. You see this shimmering light seems to be ethereal. It's not on the actual page, but it is shimmering above it.
Mm.
Almost like the book itself is emanating it.
Are there
like-
any words on the pages?
There are a few runes. What languages can you read?
Let me see.
So-
Just Elvish and Orc.
Nope.
Can you
Barry,
decipher
could
what
you-
language it is?
Sorry?
Sorry. Go ahead, Mulder.
I was gonna, can you lift me up there as well? And Vile could just help me get
Reach
up there
down?
while he's
Yeah.
up there. Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
I'll do the
that
same
just did.
cup
Yeah.
thing.
That would need.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're much lighter.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
That would
That's
need
supposed
no check because there's help from both sides. So you get up, and
And I am able to read, speak, write Infernal, I believe.
Mhm.
I'm trying to look at all the Elvish. Wrong person. Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Nope.
And also common, Elvish, and Orc. No? Okay.
No.
Then I'll look down off from the book, kind of lean over towards the edge. There's symbols, but we can't read any of it.
Can I do a check to determine what language it is?
If you can get me up there in 10 minutes, I can figure it out.
Same here.
All right.
In 10 minutes,
Um.
I'll sit
yeah.
on the book with my feet hanging off on the edge.
You can try.
If y'all want to help her get up here,
No,
I'll
I'm
start
talking about
ritual
him.
casting what she's talking about as well.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I'll help her get up. Sorry.
we're gonna get some
As I make the thing, I'm like, "Milady, would you like a lunch?"
A launch.
Why do you have to make it weird?
Too late. And I lift you as high as I can.
All right, and so begins the joint ritual of casting comprehend language.
Yep, we're both
Cool.
ritual
And
casting
then,
comprehend languages.
Batu
And then,
comes up to you.
Kulu?
He's like,
Would you like
Uh,
to do Patui's voice? Cool.
Darian, would you please get me up there? I'm very excited to see what they have. discovered. Or would you like me
Can I
to?
come up too? There you go.
Watch it just be Sylvan. Patui knows it. We're over here
I-
already ritual casting.
I would assume it's in giant, given
Yeah.
the massive fucking door.
Boosted him.
Possibly
Yeet.
abyssal.
He's up there with you.
What languages does he know?
Good question.
Common, Sylvan, and Elvish,
No.
I believe. Yeah. Not surprising that it's not Sylvan. If this is a Fedor, oh god.
Would you like to cast comprehend languages?
Yeah, we're ritual casting comprehend languages.
Both of
So
you?
after 10 minutes, we're going to have a joint realization. Oh!
Does it
I
tell you
want to
what
reach
language
down
it is?
towards Darian and say.
It does not tell us what language, no.
Yeah. All right. That's what I.
It just, we are able to read.
Yeah, you were able to read it now.
Let's see.
Does anyone want to do anything during those 10 minutes?
I'm gonna look up and say, "Nah, I don't think you'll catch me."
You're
And
right.
smirk and sit back down.
I'm gonna smirk and say you're right.
He's just about to fucking yank his hand back. Darian jumped. Oh, fuck.
All right.
The arcane sigil itself isn't a part of a written language. It will not decipher it.
All right. Gotcha.
Imagine if it was an elaborate ruse. He asks us what languages we speak, but it doesn't actually matter.
Wouldn't that be horrible? So,
Well, give him ideas.
let me turn down the things a little bit. Let me do a little sneaky play.
Wait,
Like,
what
yeah.
languages does Darian know? Because it'd be
Uh,
even more hilarious if Darian happened to know the one language.
A little darker.
God, where's languages? Dwarvish. Common.
Interesting. Well, you're not up there. Sad. So,
I believe Rev just said he reached down towards Darian and said, "Would you like to jump or something?"
yeah, and
He was
We're
trying.
past
Sid.
that one.
yeah, they were
Mm, Okay.
bantering. So
I missed that part.
you finish your casting.
Oh lord,
Yes.
he's changed the lighting. Now everything's fucking purple.
I like it. I like the purple.
As you finish your incantations, you take a look back onto the pages and the various different lines and that seems to construct the scripture move and bend to your known languages. And written in this page, there are many different things that you see. This page specifically seems to talk about spectrum. You're unsure as to what that word means in this sense. It started off talking about said spectrum and mentions it being a product of silver and void. And I would like both of you that can read it to make me a Arcana check or intelligence.
Give me a sec to write something.
Can I not use my help action for Lila to do it?
You can.
Probably the better choice right now, considering my debilitation.
Alright, I appreciate you. Alright, here goes the first one. Into the dice tower. Damn. Okay, that's why we have help.
Advantage. Oh.
Bad. How do I do this every time?
I doubt I would have rolled any better, so
And it's even worse. That's impressive.
Nice.
10.
Alright, You're unsure, but there seems to be something off about the word silver. You're not sure why. It doesn't seem to be connecting properly. But not understanding it, you continue on reading, and talks about the effects of water and light, and how, and it seems to all of a sudden change, as almost as if a different chapter, but it doesn't have any titles, but it's just continuous. And it talks about Song of the Spirit. I will need you to make me another Arcana or Intelligence check.
We doing same deal with
It's either you help me or I help you. It's probably the best choice.
you help me. This way we have 2 rolls that can get better now.
Yeah,
One
I have a
roll
higher
cancel out.
modifier, but you won't have disadvantage to deal with. So
Yeah. There's first one. Okay. Better than both of the other 2. Alright. Going with the first one for 17.
17. As you study it closer, you feel the exact same way about the word spirit. And you read it a bit more, and the context seems to shift. This word seems to have a double meaning, almost as if it's interchangeable. And due to your now knowledge, basic knowledge that is shared between you and Batui, you know that that also says yokai. The word spirit seems to be interchangeable with such. And continuing on reading, see a small section that seems to be separated, almost as if it's kind of difficult to see in comparison to the rest. The writing doesn't stick out like the rest, slightly faded. See keywords: silence, dims, light, and then one full sentence: for darkness lives amongst the forgotten. I'll give you some time to write that. Let me know when you're good.
Just for darkness lives amongst the forgotten.
Yes.
Okay. Sounded like you maybe could have cut out, but I wasn't sure. Alright, I got that.
Yeah. I would like you to make. You succeeded already. Make one more intelligence or arcana check for me.
Getting help.
yes,
Cool. That's a good one.
By the way, stream, is Mott's good to be heard? Is
22.
Does it sound good? Seeing this, see the word light. The word light seems to also be interchangeable. It's, you read the other words around it, and you think color. Silence dims color. It can. So the language seems to be very sporadic, not like if it was written, it was created to be read, and more like it was created to be understood. It's a strange thing, as you're not used to these kinds of languages, which is why you feel like the spell doesn't seem to portray it well. And you continue on to the very end of the page, and it is written, "Flames of wrath, the way will show, if shades prove to cling too close."
Could you say that one more time, please?
Yep. Flames of wrath, the way will show, if shade proves to cling too close.
All right.
And so, after finishing reading the book, you start hearing slight metal on metal sound
I hate you.
From nearby, from inside.
from above.
Oh.
And you get scared for a second, almost as if you hadn't heard it in a while, but you startle and look up, and you see the knocker of the door seems to be moving ever so gently. Now that you looked up onto the knocker, you see that there's also inscriptions onto it that you can read.
How much higher above this is the knocker?
It is above your head. It shouldn't be more than 2 feet up.
Okay, cool. I just need to make sure because to comprehend languages do require we be able to touch the surface. So,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Mhm.
What's it say on the knocker?
You step back a little bit to be able to see, and you see written around, conforming to the shape of the knocker. I can put this down on Discord if you not want to. Just copy and paste it.
Might be best.
I write in an actual physical notebook. So
all right. Then I'll
Like a
I'll
weirdo.
paste it down so that you can copy it.
Like
Then.
a weirdo.
I would appreciate that.
You read it. And it says, "That of which was given, whose purpose was lost, that of which was thrown away, now guards the light of day and the grey of night. Through mimicry and repetition may understanding come into sight, and through the light of the prism you shall find the scale Bane's might."
Okay, where are you pasting that?
I'll paste it on your SotVD.
Alright.
Next. I'll repeat it once more. Stream as well. "That of which was given, whose purpose was lost, that of which was thrown away, now guards the light of day and the grey of night. Through mimicry and repetition may understanding come into sight, and through the light of the prism we shall find the scale Bane's might."
Well, we have a prism.
Yes, we do. And we need to do it through light, so we kind of need to light up the room, is my thought process there. As well as have the light shine through the prism in a direction.
I mean, yeah, the book is basically color. It talks about a color spectrum, presumably.
It's the way it appears to read, anyway, from what we can tell.
Correct.
And the only other thing we can do besides try this is either try to close off the tunnel, get the F out and not try to close off the tunnel, or take a rest and then try this when we're all fully refreshed. I think are our current options.
I just finally finished copying that down. Could you repeat what you believe our options are?
Alright, so either close off this tunnel and get the F out of here.
It's a lot of tunnel to close off.
True, I'm just options is all I'm putting out.
Mhm.
Don't close off the tunnel at all and get the F out of here. Try lighting up this area and using this prism as we suggested.
Yes.
Or take a rest so that we're all fully refreshed before we try to light up the room and do the prism thing. Those are the 4 options I can think we have right now.
I'm gonna yell up, "What's going on?"
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm gonna lean over towards the edge and look at him and say nothing, and then come back.
I'm gonna pick up a pebble and throw it at his head.
Right as he turns around so it pegs him in the ear.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if it'll hit. You'd have to roll to see if it hit. I think you.
Yeah, that's an attack roll.
Well, it's a pebble. It's actually a name show. But what economy?
What if you
that
miss and hit someone else?
That'd be a
Maybe?
dexterity. You add your dexterity modifier, but nothing else, because you're not proficient with rock.
Oh,
Ooh.
I missed.
You
I
throw
didn't
it,
even
it
pick up the
bounces.
rock. It hurt my hand.
You throw it, it bounces off the tip of the book and falls back onto your shoulder. It hurts.
Dang it.
Okay. So, before we discuss those options, let's have a discussion in character, shall we?
Okay.
I'll say. So, the Scalebane smite clearly refers to whatever kind of blade it was that the devils were trying to obtain for their Gulfarat, whatever that was.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. It's, well, who knows if it's a weapon? It could be any number of items, but yeah, definitely something they're trying to attain.
Well, they implied it was a weapon.
Dumb creatures, you're probably right.
My concern is we may want to either do this now or not at all. Who knows when they might send more. We know.
Going by what correct. Sorry if I wasn't forthcoming, but going by what I know about the rock that we obtained, we've probably got about an hour, maybe less.
Why do you say that?
The rock's effect only lasts an hour. That they were going to have control over that earth elemental.
But what?
So they were going to lose control after an hour of using the rock elemental.
It was a guardian.
Oh wait, we still have to worry about the one that flew off.
No, they totally used it to bust this hole in. Remember, we showed up, we heard it going bang, bang, bang. I'm pretty sure they used it to dig out this hole.
I
It
assumed
wasn't
they were trying to open the door.
Well, this place looks like it was literally punched out, this cavern area here. I think they used it to dig.
I have a question. I would like to look straight up and then, how tall is this? How big is this?
How tall is the door?
No, not the door. Just in general, like how.
Oh, the room itself.
High up. The room, yeah.
It seems to be just at the edge of the arc. They didn't seem to want to spend too much time actually opening up the area, as more just to get to the door.
Another question. So how tall was the elemental? Like, would you say like head to the top, or would you say there's still room?
No, the elemental would reach about just above halfway to the top of this cave.
So it wouldn't even be big enough to punch in this room.
Depends on how long
You're
they've been working on it.
and you're unsure as to how earth elementals work. Maybe
Okay.
not physically punch it, but you don't know what other means they have.
Also true. Okay. Thank you.
Go on.
But yeah, my guess was that they used it to actually dig this area out. So that they could get to this door.
Regardless, there's still another one of those demons out there that are flying around, and they could come back at any time.
Yes, and that was my point of bringing up the hour-long limit. I don't know how long they were using it before we got here. So, at most an hour before they would have needed to either A, leave themselves, or B, fight the earth elemental, or C, put it under another effect to keep it under control.
I'm gonna yell up, toss me that torch to, well, anybody.
I light up a second torch and toss it to him.
And then I'm going to go over here and inspect the wall and see how the shape is to see if it was. What?
Pull out the prism.
Hold on.
I don't have the prism, do I?
What are you doing exactly, Darian?
Someone
was
has
just
the
inspect-
prism.
I was just inspecting the wall to see if it was like freshly ground or an old cave.
Make me an investigation check.
Investigation or perception?
Investigation.
And also, Batui has the prism.
I'm Batui and I give a prism to whoever. Got it.
Alright.
Investigation.
So I
was
pull out the
to
prism.
13.
So the prism's out. There it is.
Alright, first investigation check.
13.
13. Looking around, it's a bit difficult to determine, but you can tell, at least from the amount of dust that is being lifted up, it seems to be relatively recent excavation site. And the walls, although they seem to have been worked through a long time, you're unsure as to how long. But it's definitely not natural.
I'm gonna yell up. I think the rock dude did this.
Now, pulled out the prism.
Someone has the prism. I don't know who has.
Yeah.
I went ahead and
It-
said that I pulled out the prism.
Cool.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah. That's fun. Sure, that's something I'm really good at. Where's my character sheet? You motherfucker.
If only you had me up there.
Wow. So that's a 7, DM.
Right. You take. Well, firstly, you reach your hand into your pocket to pull out the prism. And as you pull it out, you already see glowing coming out of your pocket.
Oh,
And it doesn't take about a single second for you to start feeling some searing hot pain onto your hand, and you hear tss, and you take 3 points of fire damage as the prism itself burns your hand. You let go and it falls onto the page and starts rolling slowly, and then settles to a stop.
Well, I'm gonna wrap my hand in my sleeve and pick up the prism again.
Right. Picking up the prism again, looking at it, you can see the light coming from the prism. It is just white. There is no color coming from it. And the underneath part of the prism, whichever part holds, that is facing downwards, you see that there is a bit of a reaction with the yellow light of the book, and it seems to be emanating on that area of the prism. It's always related to where the book is, but it doesn't seem to do anything else.
Sorry, could you explain that again? I don't think I follow.
Essentially, the prism itself, it is in a diamond shape, right?
Okay.
and whichever part that is underneath, like you can turn it around, it doesn't matter. Whichever part
Okay.
is the bottom part is emanating a little bit of a light yellow glow.
So as where we're standing, what part is facing the
You're breaking up.
Breaking up.
from where we're standing? What part is facing the is what you're saying? From where we're
You're
currently standing.
cutting out even more than before.
Yeah, I have a feeling like he gets
Why?
it. I have a feeling like what he said is correct. The little bits that I got. But yeah, you're breaking up still.
What do you think he asked?
Your
Hello?
ping is 999, so it's your.
Oh
Say
Jesus.
again.
Oh my god.
You're back. You're back. You're good. Good.
Hello, hello.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go.
All right. So, going by what I'm hearing is, at least from where we're standing right now, it's the part of the prism that's facing the book.
Correct.
Thank you.
Uh,
God.
so, looking through the prism, is the text any more clear?
Give me a perception check.
At advantage because I'm helping you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh,
All right, that's not
there.
bad. Advantage.
Oh, question before we go through that.
Mm-hmm.
How far away would my bat be if it was at the top of the tunnel?
At the top of the tunnel.
Like
Where do you
the
mean?
entrance area.
Oh, that would be around 90 reps. About 100 feet, I think. This grid doesn't get any bigger, which is annoying, but it's supposed to be slightly bigger.
Okay, so
each
but
5 feet.
within 100 feet or less, then, right?
Yeah.
If barely. Okay, that's all I need. Thank you. And that's an
You-
18 plus what?
Plus 2.
So 20
So-
on that.
Correct. Total of 20.
As you're looking through the book, you see that the words in the area that was faded, where it said "silence dims light, for darkness lives amongst the forgotten."
Mhm.
Silence follows, dims light. You reveal an extra word.
Okay. So it says follows looking through the prism. Silence follows.
Pat got a natural 20 plus 1. Nice.
Silence. The light is interchangeable with color. Silence follows. It's color.
And I left the natural 20 in my dice tower if you want to look.
It's fine. I trust you.
Mm.
Did you read the whole thing to them, Lila? Or
What was that?
did you two read the whole thing to them, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been passing the information we've ascertained as we went along.
Alright, did you read, did you pass the information of what's written in the knocker?
On the knocker, yes.
Yes. Only thing I missed was what word was revealed by the
Follows.
follows.
Silence
And where
follows.
does that
Silence
fit?
follows.
Silence follows.
follows. Dims light. But we determined light is interchangeable with the word color.
So silence follows. Where's the silence part? I know I have all this written down. I've been writing it down.
You hear very lightly above you again. The knocker continues. Knock by itself. Slightly
Forgot it was
louder.
doing that for a sec.
I think we're at a point, unless we want to try and investigate this book more, we're at a point where we might as well at least step down from here.
Well, the light's up here.
Well, I have something I want to test anyway, so I need some help getting down.
I'll help him down.
How high above the book was the spherical shape?
Spherical
Like the
shape
light?
is
Spherical shape was the light, yes? Or did I
no.
make that up?
The light
Alright,
is
I'm
just coming from the book.
I'm still holding said prism, correct?
Can I
Yes.
see what happens if I angle? Is there a way to like refract the light up onto the shape and see if anything happens?
I wanted to. Yeah, go ahead. We'll do that first before I come down. Then. Oh my God, that is not what I wanted, but that's funny.
The actual sphere is about 16, 18 feet up, something along those lines. Would you like to attempt to refract the light towards?
Yeah.
The knocker itself, yes.
No, not towards the knocker, towards the spherical. Or was that?
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity check.
Sure. What are my stats? 14 dex. All right.
Technically,
This one I
helping you.
feel like you can't really aid
Yeah.
on. $15.
15. Okay. I don't have to anymore. Sad.
Happens.
All right. As you angle it upwards, it shines up and through the knocker, and it's almost you see a shimmering of a bit of a barrier of light covering the knocker as it goes through and reaches the sphere. As it comes into contact with the sphere, you see the knocker start to glow, almost as if the material itself becomes slightly translucent and it glows out with yellow light. Let me... As it does so, you start seeing it move with more intensity. And the knocker starts getting a rhythm, almost like a drum beat. And then it starts moving to ethereal sounds coming from all around. Here, slight throat, Mongolian throat singing. Essentially. That is essentially what it is. And the knocking. And it continues.
Alright, well that was something. And I assume this to be the song of the spirit. No. We determined spirit meant yokai.
Do you stop?
No. I think I'm probably holding the position deep in thought.
Alright. What do the rest of you do?
I'm gonna help Zad down because I think he was
Yeah.
still trying to come down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm somewhat trying to come down, but
Catch
yeah.
you.
Can someone
So what do you
make
got for
me
Actions are
a
taken care of. I've got no further actions beyond getting down.
Can someone make me a history check for Patui? Continue on.
But I could
History
roll
for
for his.
Patui. Yeah, go ahead and roll, and I'll give you his modifier as soon as I finish looking at the sheet. Oh, it's only +1.
I got an 8.
9. It's a cool beat. He nods his head to it as the sound seems to emanate throughout the entire room and envelop you all. And it's almost like you see shining, colorful light. Very faint. Sometimes you take 2 glances, almost as if to make sure that you're not seeing things, and then
I
it
would like
dissipates.
to toss some torches around the area to light up the general area of the cave while we're doing this.
Alright. How many torches do you have?
I mean, I have a total of 10, but Kulu has 1.
And
You
how many
also have one.
Yeah, but that would count as a torch I have, so...
I guess so.
How many would you like to use?
5. 4. Yeah, 5. 1 in each corner and then 1 in the middle, kind of thing.
I'll toss you my torch so you can use it as well.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and take 5 torches completely out of my inventory.
1 in each corner. I'll just do this. This. No. Alright. You start lighting them up. Sink them onto the ground. And put 1 by 1.
Dims light.
As you see this, almost like dancing of colorful light, it's the way that I could explain it. It resembles Aurora Borealis, but very faded and faint, all around you. It starts filling up the room, many different colors. And you see the way that after you turn on the torch and you light it up, and you see it's almost interacting with the flames. The flames spark up, and as soon as it gets into contact with these, you see large pillars of fire starts rising up, and you see the darkness around the room shimmer with the turbulent light of the flames. And it continues almost in this tribal-esque presentation of the song that's being played for you. And the fire alights further as the music gets more intense. What are you doing,
Lighting.
Lila?
I have read these same, like, 4 paragraphs I have written probably 20 times in the past 5 minutes. Oh, shit.
Give you some extra light there, Lila.
No, that's good. Especially
know.
because it's fire.
Would you like me to put more out?
Yes.
Alright,
To make sure there's no darkness in this room, I think.
yeah. That's essentially whatever I need to use for my last 5 torches.
Oh, wait, wait.
Completely light this room.
I give you my 5.
There we go.
Alright.
Between 10 torches, completely have this room no dim light in it.
Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and where do you want the 5th?
There's probably Is there a way? Oh yeah, there is. Okay, we could probably put. You put how many 4 out right now?
Yeah, it's a total of 9 currently.
We need
Okay,
one more.
and we had already had 5. We only need 1 more.
Yeah.
We had a total of 5.
Yeah.
It had to be one of these 2 spots here, or maybe here, that would still need light.
Darian gave you his 5.
And I already had 5.
I thought you had 10.
I had a total of 10.
Okay,
put
so
out 5.
it's 10 more.
Yeah, he had 5 remaining.
Okay. So I put 4 more down. I'll put
You got
more
one from
here.
me, and then whatever you want to use. There you
Okay.
This is 10.
So then,
Do we need any more light to finish lighting up this room? I still have another 5 torches to use, if needed.
It's a good question. Is how the more torches that are added, how is this changing?
Alright. As you're adding the torches, give me a perception check, whoever's paying attention to the torches individually.
I am. I'll be looking out. I'm
As-
watching him as he's doing it.
I'll also be paying attention to the differences in light, since it's what I'm trying to.
If you find it reasonable, Jay, I'd say it's probably also fair that Patui might be paying attention to such things.
That is fair, yes.
All right. I'll roll
He
for
was
Patui.
very enthralled by the music, so he is very much liking this.
Alright, I have a 12 from my perception check.
Oh, nice one.
God
Nice one, Rev.
damn.
Patui
Alright.
also had a 12.
Alright.
Rev!
Oh yeah.
Okay, Patui 12. Is anyone else doing it, or
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably like, I don't know if I'm like really paying a whole lot of attention to the ground. I might be like half supervising, half making sure I am continuing what I am doing. I feel like I'm a little bit distracted.
I'd rather you continue doing what you're doing myself, too.
make a perception check, Lila.
I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, for a total of
20. 22.
Something. There it is.
Hey.
Alright.
13 for mine.
13. With a 22 and 25, as Val and Darian, you look around onto the torches. Are you putting more out, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
Just
we'll put
mark
another
them
one
out.
here. That should take care of that area. And the only other place I could think one might be needed would be like here. And maybe here. And that should fill the room with. Completely fill the room with light.
You, Darian and Vile, you look around the room and you see the flames. And the more that it's added, it's almost as if the light that is emanating around the room, the colorful light, works as fuel to these flames. And once they spark up, they conform to the shapes of this Aurora Borealis-esque presentation. And, you can just, and in them, once the flame touches them, you see an image. People. You're unsure as to what race. You're unsure if it is any race. It just looks humanoid with no discerning features. But you definitely see people drumming, people singing all around. Some of them taller, some of them way taller, some very small. Varying sizes throw you off a bit as to what this communation of people may have been. I'll need Patui to make a... I'd say give him another history check.
Alright, I'm rolling it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking shit. I
Oh,
rolled his
nailed
dice
it.
for it.
That's
He
fair.
got a 6.
6. It's not a very hard DC for him, but it doesn't reveal much. As Patui is nodding to this, he looks at the rest of you. This is very familiar. Certainly, music from my land. So far away. But I don't know why this is so familiar. You said yokai, right, Lila?
I'm not quite sure what it means, but yes.
There's a spirit of my land. I don't know what correlation it has with this. Strange. Those be yokai? Looking out to the humanoid entities.
If
Seeing
it's the
the
song
flames.
of the yokai, then perhaps.
But are yokai good or bad?
That's the question, isn't it?
I'm asking that out loud to Padui.
Well, that's that's up to interpretation, really. They are the spirits of our land. I am not very well versed in their history, and more connected with the land itself, which in its own right has yokais, but some can be good, some can be bad, some that turn real bad. They turn into akumas, but it is a very relative term. They're neutral entities, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm sure Kobas would know more about this than I would.
I mean, this is starting to get into Kobos's territory with the prism being a thing, which is
not.
who wants to go help the old man?
Shall I go carry him down? Ask in general to the group.
People get down from the book, I guess.
I'm staying on this fucking book. I'm still shining.
Yeah, he's still.
With your 13 perception check, looking up at this the sphere as you're trying to concentrate to hold it in place, see that your movement no longer affects it. It seems to now have gathered a strength of its own.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
as you notice yourself falter slightly, its intensity of the light does not change. In fact, it keeps on going stronger and stronger.
So, now here's my next thought. The knocker mentions mimicry, repetition. With the song, do you think it necessary we join in some regard?
I mean, for those that are musically inclined, we can try.
Musically inclined I am.
I'm not. I do technically have an instrument on me, and can try. Specifically the part that's playing right now, I can try.
I hope it doesn't hurt to try. Given that, seemingly I no longer
technically
need
mean
to...
I'm just helping Lila perform music, or what?
Well,
I
it
don't.
depends on how many of you are going to do it.
That's the question.
Also,
Right
Darian
now,
was gonna.
Before we do this, should I go get Kobos?
I don't think that's a horrible idea. Well, and while you're doing that, we can prep to figure out who's putting on a show.
I'll nod, I'll say, go get him, I'll listen, try and figure out patterns.
I'm gonna...
And I'll do whatever I can do to help her with that.
Alright.
And as I'm walking away, it's like, if only we had the rat phones.
Yes, I am in agreement right now. I was thinking the same thing.
I
I
guess.
need a short break, I'm afraid. Guys, give me a few minutes. I gotta use the bathroom and such.
Alright, go ahead.
Quick recess, I'll be right back as well then.
Alright. You, Darian, you go up. You'd like to make the interaction with Kobus?
Sure.
Alright. Kobus is currently setting up the horses. Let's just, play pretend, as
Uh,
if this is not
yeah, yeah,
exactly
gotcha.
what we were doing.
I don't know. I have to use my imagination all of a sudden.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Wow. Such effort. You see Kobus as you climb back up. Kobus and Milo are deep in conversation as they're setting up the camps. And
Yeah. All right. So as I climb up, I'm gonna yield the Kobas. I think we're in need of your expertise.
is something wrong? Starts walking your direction.
Not wrong entirely. We found a door. They're trying to figure out how to open it. Thought maybe you would know more than any of us.
A door. Interesting. Right. Sounds exciting. Let's go.
I'll help you down, but first, Milo, you might want to write about this one.
Sorry, what did you say?
Milo, you might want to write about this one in your book.
Oh? Haha. It's a door. That must be
Well,
one
you'd have to
impressive
see it.
door.
It's a pretty impressive door.
Well, sure, let's go.
It's a door I'm pretty sure I couldn't even force open.
I cannot wait for us to open the door and find out that Milo is evil.
The big BBG. He pulls out the notebook from his saddlebag. Alright, show the way. And
Once have you secured the horses?
Sorry?
Kobas, have you secured the horses?
Oh yeah, they're completely fine. They should be good where they are, unless someone comes along. Then would be an unfortunate day, but you need me, so let us go.
So I'm gonna literally carry Kobas on my back as I climb the rope.
Alright, Milo will stay on the top and try and help at least with the getting down at the very top part, and then you carry him down. You know what, I'm not gonna make you roll for this because you're
Vile fucking pupils.
what?
Every time I look at his mini.
The rope makes it easy, so you carry him down, and he's relatively light, and Milo comes right behind, hops off the rope, eager, looks around. Oh, you guys have this is a party. Hold on.
And what is that, the monk?
Yeah.
Yep.
I sat down to that.
I brought down a friend.
What is this? Starts hearing
that's-
everything.
Say.
Alright. I'm gonna
As
make
Kobas walks in and walks into sight, surprise! Happy birthday! No.
Zad, relay to him what we've learned from the text.
Done. You want me to actually read off the notes? Is that what you're asking?
give me your role play, boy. Come on.
Yeah, that is Lila being kind of dismissal because she's setting up for a performance.
Alright, let's go look.
He starts
Alright,
walking
Kobas.
between the flames, being very careful not to burn his coat as the flames sparkle up. He decides, you know what, this is too dangerous. He takes off his coat, puts it down onto the ground on the step. Alright. Slowly makes his way through. Yes, Ed, what have you found?
Number one, once me and Lila made it up there and were able to do some magical comprehension,
Right.
we were able to read a few different words and sayings from inside the giant statue book.
Okay.
Things like silver and spirit being an equivalent word to yokai. Darkness resides in
Yokai.
the forgotten. We also came across on the knocker. It appears to read that of which was given, whose purpose was lost.
Which was
da-da-da-da.
given. Alright. And
And
you
then
Patui from
the
the top of the
prism light.
book scream out. And the lights, you see the people, could they be the yokai? I'm unsure. He looks up at Patui, looks
Zach
down
just
back at
goes,
you.
"You're yokai."
He starts looking up at the lights.
I'm
Huh.
also gonna bring up the prism shining with the light in the book, and then when we started, I started lighting up torches, and the torches started doing this extra thing, and making all of our efforts a little less or more. Go ahead.
Call down, just in additional say, I think the repetition means a performance, adding to their song.
Yes. These are. He gets slightly closer, but he tries not to get too close to the sparking flames. They're humanoids, but you can see their features. Yokais are very unique creatures. He starts looking over every single one of them. Song, our land. It is something that I'm assuming Patui knows. The way that things work, they're very different to here. Magic works in a different way, and sound has a much more, such a much stronger impact in the world around us. And I think this, it feels like home. How the air, the songs. Yes, you should probably.
And
Yes. Sorry.
no. I was gonna say, and I'll be helping her with my pan flute. I was
Alright,
not in character
I can.
interaction.
He pulls out his own small flute from the side.
Let's
I
go.
can-
I've seen him play that before. We did a jam session in session 2.
Yeah, I had the pan flute.
Well, you already had practice. He looks up at Lila. You know what this sounds like?
Not.
It's been a while. At least for a joyful tune, that is. Very well. Let's do this. Milo sits on the ground on like a big rock, just starts taking notes. This is indeed a very impressive door. Wow, that is.
Yeah, I told you.
I need to make a
you wanted
sketch
to
of this.
leave.
Hey, Okay, that's fair.
Mother.
I
So
was
as
wrong.
they start playing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go. No, I'm done.
Should I go up and get my loot?
I mean, technically, you could use your shield and sword as a drum
That might
to
work
match
better,
the
actually.
beat of the music.
What are you saying about my loot skills?
Nothing. I'm just saying it'd be faster to do this.
Our goal is
Drums.
mimicry.
Drums seem to be the main, the centerpiece of this orchestra.
So
I
Fair
feel like
enough.
they're right.
Sure, I'm glad that my favorite instrument's a drum, followed by singing.
all I have is a pan flute, and I'll be utilizing that.
You see,
but
Milo puts the book down instead of taking notes. He just starts drumming on the pages of the book,
Let's go.
tapping lightly. Is anyone else doing anything?
Vile, Patui would be joining in, but I don't know what instrument he has.
Patui is going to be slamming onto the ground with his staff, specifically the book, and it's making a slight tapping sound.
I'm gonna be like, don't damage the book.
I don't think I could. He keeps on. He does it even harder and harder, and nothing seems to happen to the book. Vile, are you doing anything?
I guess I'll just sit down and then just like kind of start tapping on my with my hands on my knees. Just kind of
All right.
start doing that.
Darian, do you get? I'm assuming you get out of the door. Out of the
Oh,
entrance.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I joined the party apparently.
rolling a performance roll for funsies. It doesn't
Alright.
count for anything.
No, it does. Everyone make performance checks.
Oh.
It's gonna be bad.
Oof. Oof. I'd rather just help Lila. What the fuck is this?
Oh my
Okay.
god.
What?
I've done it.
Oh,
Oh,
It's me. This is the second performance roll out of 2 performance rolls I've done that have natural 20s, so we're gonna go ahead and take that.
that is a massive dub. Oh,
Go ahead and
goddamn.
take that total
Alright.
of 27.
Oh, fuck.
And Dia, would you like to look at the disadvantage roll I have? It's not as amazing as Lila over there, but
Double
It's still pretty
13s.
good.
Still
proud of you.
pretty fucking good. It's nice.
yeah. Alright. So,
Alright, put them all in the chat.
Oh my god, how I love being the bard.
Alright, 5, 27, 5, 14. I'm gonna roll for Petui. What is his modifier?
I'm
look.
checking it right now.
That's a 7 plus whatever.
Yeah, it's +1.
Right.
I like how Clueless is -1.
I'll just do that.
not very
Um,
charismatic.
Okay.
Jay, I have an insane question to ask.
Go ahead.
Mostly because I'm riding off of the high of my fat roll.
Mm-hmm.
Given my and Patui's inherent connection, does the song, my musical gift, help him in any way?
Or the fact that he knows the song help you perform the song better. More matching, I should say.
I'll describe it for you. Let me find. As the knocker continues on, it's always taking up the loudest drum of the beat, and Darian joins in with his shield and sword. It seems to be a little bit off of the beat itself, alongside with Rev and Petui. Rev, Vile and Petui. Vile does not seem to be doing much anyways. And even on the little that he's doing is relatively off beat. And Kobus. Let me see. I forgot what he rolled. That was I think it was an 11. Yeah. Kobus joins in with his flute in the little parts that he can, and then it doesn't seem to be going very well with the flute, and so he just puts the flute away and and he starts the Mongolian throat singing.
Someone's
Just-
gonna need some tea after this.
Just very low hums as he notices Lila starting to pick up the beat, and it just fades into the background, and Lila starts. With every single beat that Lila makes, it gets louder and louder, and you see slowly every single torch in the room flicker with every beat of her drum, as it just and they flare up, and the lights just get brighter and brighter. This Aurora Borealis seems to get more physical, consistent. You see the colors shining through as you see the people with more details. You see that they're varied in their mannerism, the way their facial features, their skin colors, their ears, horns. Some are bigger, some are smaller, and you finally see at the very back the same entity that you are standing upon the book of. Almost as when the lights flare up and the flames reach the ceiling, encompassing the entirety of the ceiling, you see the image of this entity holding a massive staff, hitting it onto the ground. And Lila's drum gets above everything. Her drum seems to be louder than the knocker at the door. The loud sound of metal against metal is nothing compared to the beat of her drums. It gets louder and louder. It almost gets to the point of unbearable, but it never quite reaches it. As you pull, all of you put your hands to your ears, and you see the light at the sphere shine bright and bright, and then in one fell swoop it turns silver, reflecting the entirety of the room. You see all of you in this moment looking up to the sphere, the reflected surface, and in the reflected surface, Lila's aura. She has flames all around her. Patui has a slight amount of it coming onto him as well, as they both continue on. And you hear very loud and rumbling onto the ground. And the book that the three of you are standing on splits in half. The entirety of the door.
Oh.
And you start feeling the door opening.
Like
Should you
outward,
get
okay.
down off?
Did we catch
Might
yourself?
not be the worst idea, but I don't think I'm willing to stop playing at the moment.
You just step to the side.
Just scoot.
Scoot to the side. I'm gonna need the three of you that are on top, roll for Patui, someone, to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Alright.
I don't know if I want to roll for Tui. I already am, but
Nice. That's good.
okay, cool. 17 plus 3, so total dirty 20 for Tui.
Vile, as you're sitting onto the edge and you're drumming onto your legs, you feel the slight shift and the sudden burst pushes you backwards, and then there's a slight stop that jolts you forward, and you fall. That is about
We'll try to
10
catch him.
feet. Make me a dexterity saving throw, Darian, to
That's
catch him. But Lila and Patui both stand their ground. Patui continues to beat with his staff onto the ground as Lila now concentrated almost hypnotically onto this beat. And the flames that were reflected onto the sphere now encompass both of them as the door now starts to open slowly.
Inwards or outwards?
Outwards.
Outwards.
Okay.
Let me... There we go. And with all of this, as the door opens, just the left side of the door opens up.
Sin's done herself.
Very
Holy
impressive
shit.
map making.
Yes, thank you, Sin. You're fantastic.
10 out of 10.
The book split now in half, and what you see in front of you, almost like darkness spilling out. Not natural. The shadows themselves don't seem to be crisp and sharp. They seem to be reaching out from the door. And now the song starts to die down faintly into the background as the torches go back to their normal, with one last flare up. And all of the torches go out.
I'm just gonna assume they're burnt out and not even worry about them.
Hazard Macaroni's like, fire noises.
Oh.
Did I catch
What did you say
Vital or
was
no?
your
17?
17? You caught him. Easy. Caught him onto your arms.
You're now holding Vile bridal style.
I'm gonna set him down and just say, I thought you were supposed to be the agile one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk. I kind of make a smirk and then just gonna walk over.
As he walks away, should have let him fall and snap.
That was a little small. Hold on. Supposed to be bigger.
Yeah, I was.
Oh yeah, we're like the same height. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The map had a different grid.
So, you see, the door opening now. The sphere itself is the only thing that is intact and not split in the middle. As you see the entirety of the sphere, the front, bottom, the back, and the side, just complete, reflective silver.
How big is the spear again?
It's about 5 feet radius.
Sphere.
It's a
Yeah.
big, giant sphere of silver. Anyway,
Very greedy boy.
Greedy boy.
hey, Greedy would be thinking about the fact that I could make it look like gold and then sell it.
I'm gonna call up to Patui and Lila. You guys went down from there.
Alright. Once the song is properly died down, only then will I cease my drumming. I'll look down at you. Are you going to catch me?
That is the plan.
No hesitation. I'm jumping down at him. I am riding the high of getting to perform.
Throwing himself into the crowd. Let's go. Roll me a dexterity saving throw. Let's just see how this goes. She wants to be a
Me
rock
or
star.
him?
Let's make it happen.
Me or
15.
Kulu.
Kulu first. How much?
12 plus 3, 15.
Easy. Catch her.
Two?
And there's no harm. No
Smile
damage.
at you. Hi.
That was quite a performance as I set her down.
I feel like
Um,
that's how it's been going lately.
Am I being caught as well?
Does this thing typically happen when you play?
I'm gonna go
It's
with
just
yes.
from the top.
Ignored.
Maybe we should.
Yeah,
maybe
this is
we should
first.
play those a little bit less then,
Mm,
or more. I don't know.
Do we just up there?
Look at
Um,
Patui, and then as they're talking, I look at Patui up, and then I say, "I'll catch you," but then I'll just continue to walk in.
right.
That's par for the
Right.
course.
That's okay.
Definitely cutting that rope on the way back.
Can I get some help over here, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Whoop.
You gonna turn into a panda for me, or you're just gonna make me catch the whole you?
Nope. Just fucking throws himself.
Right on top of my head, apparently.
Maybe
Perfect
another one.
landing.
He's a little bit heavier than Lila.
Oh no!
I am not involved.
I am exceptionally light.
Alright, let's see it, Darian.
Another dexterity saving throw. Let's go.
Let's
Watch
go.
me drop him and he dies,
Let's
right?
go.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, let's
like
go.
Yep,
18 total.
caught him. Ooh. Thank you, sir, man. Alright,
Anytime, Panda Pal.
let's go.
I mean, theoretically.
Should we
could
follow
just-
this other guy, or is he just good? Like
I
we
mean-
could just leave.
I'm always up for a mysterious dark chamber.
Yeah, you are.
We're not gonna talk about the whole, the
I mean,
flames and the lights, the colors.
what is there to talk about? The lights and colors open the giant door. Now we're looking at a giant door that we might go through.
That, I point at him very, very determinedly, is going to be a fantastic story in your book.
I do not disagree. Remember what I told you? You're precious.
I'm telling you, Meatloaf, stick with us. You're gonna fill that book pretty easy.
He sits
Meatloaf.
back down and starts writing stuff, erasing some stuff, and rewriting, and just thinking to himself, "Fuck, how do I fucking
So
write this?"
we're going into the unknown mysterious cave.
Mhm.
As you guys are talking about it, yeah, we're already, I'm already still continuing.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, boss, do you want to stay or go?
Should we stay or should we go?
I will wait. If you deem it to be safe, I may.
I
Pardon, I lost a bit of my voice. It just let me know if it is safe, and I will gladly go inside. He goes to Lila. The I don't know why. It has been a long time since I've been home, and I appreciate that performance. I guess it's a weird. I'm sorry. It is a weird feeling to hear such a song after such a long time, and that was very well done by your part, even if you had no idea what you were doing.
I'll beam at him. I'll say, like you said, I did have practice. It's been, admittedly, a few weeks since then, but
Yes, you did. Catch on quick. That is very good. Very well done. And I appreciate the performance. It was amazing. I'll be waiting here for you all. Looks at the rest of you. Help him write his stuff, I guess. Sits down on the rock next to him. And now?
so Fatui and Vile already passed the door, yeah.
We're already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you all
I'm
going
gonna start
in?
heading in. Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna head in as well. But before I do, I'm gonna yell back to Milo. Keep that troublemaker Kobos in line, okay?
He ain't going nowhere. Got him. Gives you finger guns.
Finger guns.
First finger guns of a session. Let's go.
I'm going to erase the.
And you wanted to leave. That's being
Why
called
can't I
back
go?
as we're walking away.
I gotta delete these. I'm gonna need everyone to blindfold themselves until I tell you otherwise.
Done.
Alright, let me figure
Press
out
B.
where that button is.
I like that
I
my
did
blindfold
that,
is
but I'll
also like
still-
a pinkish.
How?
B.
B. Press B.
Just B?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh man.
Alright. Stream. You can't see this either.
Oh, keeping secrets.
Ha ha ha.
Hmm.
sneaky man.
Hmm.
Alright. Let me change this. Boop.
Kulu, you got one torch back, by the way.
Jackpot.
Because
Nice.
there were only 2 left over after doing all that.
Did it. Jackpot.
You know,
Also, when
the
I'm
only
done
2
with this, none of you look at stream either, because I'm pretty sure it's this is more
Oh,
for
I
the
assume
setup
you're
of it.
doing like Fog of War.
Yeah.
Had to load a map and then assign fog. That makes sense.
He's hacking.
Right. And now I will give this view. Right. Just setting up real quick. Wait, let me put on some tunes.
I very, very nearly missed. Let me put on some tunes. Oh man.
I think Lila did that already.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I'm over here still
Good one.
popping.
I think that is good enough. And grid. That works. Very well. This, and you can. Oh wait, let me grab your peoples.
What are you
You
doing about me?
can now unblindfold yourselves. Where the fuck did this horse come from?
Which horse?
I'll never tell.
You.
I'll never tell.
It's all right. Don't look at stream and just unblindfold yourselves.
Done did that.
Oh shit. This thing's that's not on a raise.
Well, that's sort of.
Alright. As soon as you step in to this, and I'm gonna give each one of you, you sense darkness cling very close. As all of you that have dark vision and attempt to penetrate this, there is nothing. You can barely see further than 5 feet in front of you. And those that are humans cannot see anything at all. Who took the ring? Don't take the ring.
I have to relight the torch.
You light a torch.
Yep.
Alright. This would be. Oh, wait.
Jay, I don't know if you saw Sin said that they can't see anything.
Oh. Forgot to turn stream back. Sorry.
Professional. Professional.
This is what they see. Nothing happened. As you light up the torch, the area around you brightens up.
Smile and say, "Good thinking, Darian. That's the flames of wrath through the darkness that comes too close."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was just. Because I could see, okay.
Nope, you knew all along.
We believe in you, Darian. You understood what was needed.
I didn't.
Darian,
Yes.
I would like you to roll me a D100, please.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
And then we're gonna argue about what the dice mean.
So how the fuck do I? Yeah. What do I do with this thing again?
A D100 and a D10. Roll both of them, and I'll.
Yeah, one from here, one from here.
Right here. I'm not gonna put him in the tower because I don't trust it.
That
natural 100.
is, yeah.
A natural 10? Jesus.
It's a
30.
It's a 30.
Oh, wait, right. 30.
You would take that to mean 30.
Yeah.
Right.
30. As you light up the torch, all this darkness, it didn't seem anything strange to you as you do not have dark vision. But as you light up the torch, see at the edges of your vision as to where it's been light up, the shadow seems to be stronger and flickering more than usual. Chaotic, tormented, and you look at the torch and there's an intensity to the torch that makes you wince and squint your eyes, holding it besides you. And the heat emanating from it is way more than it was in the torch-filled room just before. Just from this one torch. And now... Make me taller.
For reference, you can increase or decrease your token size by mousing over it.
That was
or
at 2,
pressing-
right? Earlier.
And pressing the plus or minus keys.
Not touching anything. I don't want to break the map.
I respect that.
As the torch continues to flicker, you see the shadow at the edges, almost like a large tendril, reach out towards you, almost as if trying to reach for the flame at your hands. And then you see in front of you. Make me a perception check.
Do you mind if I do something real quick?
Go on.
Something I just occurred to me that I can do. I don't know if it's going to help us in this situation, but I can I can use thaumaturgy to make it flame brighter by up to 3 times.
Would you like to do that?
Might as well try.
I would like you. Oh, did the stop? Oh, there you go. Darian, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Believe in you, Darian.
Hang on, I gotta throw this one away.
Dice jail.
Where's the 20? Where's the 20?
Right here.
There we go.
Much better.
19 plus 4, 23.
23. The flames themselves get stronger, stronger. And as they light up further, you see what was right at the edge of your vision. Two creatures standing in front of you. As the torch lights up further, They emanate from the tendrils of shadows that come outside of your vision, and they look at you, and their eyes beady red, looking intently at the flames. I am going to need you to roll me another D100.
That's not what I was expecting to be said. Oh lord.
I thought we were all rolling perception.
No.
Okay.
It's just 10, I believe.
Oh, fuck.
Can't argue about what that means.
That is a 17. Okay. As the flames get brighter, you see right behind them, there's another creature. You're unsure as to what it is, and it seems to be lurking around in the shadows. But you definitely see something else conjured from the shadows of this torch that you lit up. And now, I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Me.
Good thing that we got a wizard with loads of spell slots, am I right?
Mm-hmm. And disadvantage on even my initiative rolls.
Oh no.
That's a skill check, remember? So I got a whole whopping, yeah.
Oh, which one's the initiative?
Dex modifier.
Oh, Dex modifier. Okay. Damn.
Unless you have something else that modifies your initiative. Such as Jack of all trades.
Haha, eat.
Did you not know that?
No, I know it. It's,
Oh.
it's really cool.
Or what is another one? Alert is a feat that affects your initiative.
Alright. Put your initiatives in chat and let me know what you roll.
We did.
Yep.
All of you?
Yeah.
Alright.
Including
Tui already.
including Patooey.
Wow.
Wait, you rolled a nat 1?
The Nat 1 initiative was making fun of you, I believe.
No, okay.
That was.
I thought he,
Yeah.
I thought he had it plus 2.
No, I rolled a 4. I rolled a 3 plus 1.
Okay. I thought it was a 1 plus 3.
Alright.
I wish Tui still had a second level spell slot.
No, he doesn't.
I know, I wish he did, so we could use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I don't even know what spells we go with there that he has.
I was going to operate mostly off of this list because I think this is what. Fuck the druid.
Fuck
Yeah.
the druid.
Nice.
Not my favorite class in 5e, I must be honest.
I don't mind it as a class, I just don't like the way spells are handled between them and clerics.
Alright, let me set you guys up on your initiative orders. That would be
Yeah,
at
these
the
must be.
very end. Milo's not here. Bearing
Yeah,
goes all the way up. Did someone roll for Patui?
Yes.
For initiative, yeah.
Which one is it?
It was
his
a
is-
1 plus 3 is
Oh,
14. This
14.
one was
Last one.
mine. I rolled the
14.
same thing on both of our die.
Which one of you has the highest dexterity?
Dexterity he has. We have the same bonus because jack of all trades.
Alright.
So
Alright.
that should be. Okay.
So Darian goes first. Darren rolled
Yeah,
21.
but I should
You
be
ready?
second to last. Yeah. I only had a 6. I mean, don't mind having the earlier initiative, but I only rolled a 6.
Alright. So, as you see this happen, these creatures seem to have a slight tendril coming off of them all the way back to the shadows. And you see the one creature at the very edge that seems to be stalking you from the outside. And all of a sudden, in a rage charged, you see this creature run up towards you. Massive creature. Its head seems to be bloated, and the shadows that are clinging onto it that conforms this entity seem to be slightly physical at times, and then sometimes ethereal again. And then sometimes when it's running, it seems to take charge onto the ground as a pure shadow and emerge back up in its physical form. And it rolled a natural 20 on its initiative.
Oh boy.
So that would be
It's quite short for something that's massive.
it's the fucking height. There you go. These two are slightly bigger as well. Right. So this entity is going to do a charge attack at you. Darian,
It's me.
what is your AC? 18, I'm assuming.
It's 18.
That is a 20 to hit.
It's
That'd be. As this creature charges towards you and you see it point its bloated part of its head in your direction, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as it charges onto you and hits as you try to block with your shield, and it just smashes onto your shield and then onto your chest and pushes you back slightly. Just stares at you. And you see that this creature seems to be always shifting, and not in the usual manner that you would think Shadow does, but almost as if it's in pain, writhing. No.
So I didn't have time to switch my sword or my torch for a sword.
You can do that on your turn if you wish.
To be fair, I think having a torch is good for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing the torch at it.
Hold on. It's still not your turn because I rolled
I-
2
oh,
natural
my bad,
20s.
Okay, I thought you said it.
Yeah,
But alas,
I don't know how, where these natural 20s were last session. And I waste
All the
them in
good ones are
fucking
on
initiative.
It's fine. Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Well.
That's just how it goes.
uh, all right. The other shadow will start moving forwards. 20 towards Darien. Back it up. This one a bit slimmer, almost as if it's attempting its best to cling onto any piece of shade that it can. Barely visible at times. It will do a claw strike at you. There's a natural 18. I'm assuming that hits.
I have 18.
Yeah, so that would be.
So it has a minus to hit.
It does not, sadly. Oof. Sheesh. That is 8 points of necrotic damage as the creature slashes into you and gashes onto your shoulder as you're busy with the shadow charger in front of you. And now,
Rock damage affected by constant.
no,
Okay.
this one does not. All right. Now, Darian, it is your turn.
Alright, well, I'm gonna swing the torch at this one, the charger.
Okay.
Now, would that count as using item or as
That is an improvised weapon. So you just roll with your strength modifier.
So I'm going to swing at the charger.
Yeah, and add your strength modifier.
14 plus 3, 17.
17 does hit. Yes. Using the torch. Let me just grab the other one for this one. Swinging towards it, they roll me a d6.
Nice.
5?
Yes.
Right. You flare your torch towards him, and still feeling the heat of the torches. Attack with this the torch. You see that it hits at first onto the bloated part of its head, and then slightly dents unnaturally, almost as if the creature is not fully there, just passing through it. Alright, you deal damage.
I'm going to use my bonus action of second wind.
Alright.
That is
Heal
a
up.
D10 plus 3 HP.
Yes. That would be your turn, I'm assuming, unless you want to.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll be there.
alright. So,
I'm not going to put that in tower. I don't know how D10s affect the tower. 6. So I'm just going to get my 6 HP.
Lila, you rolled a 14, right?
Yes. Both Patui and Lila were on 14.
The other shadow rushes forward, and you see that it almost like a dolphin diving and jumping out of the water. This creature goes in and out of the ground in shadow form, dashing towards you. And it attacks towards you, almost reaching through you with its claws. That is
Zad or Vile?
Zed.
Okay.
That is a 18 to hit.
Hits.
Alright.
Right. Zad takes his first enemy damage.
Is that right?
I've somehow
That
hit
is-
this every
6 points of necrotic damage that you take
Oh.
as a creature slashes into you, and you feel its hand reach through your chest, and when it pulls, you see shadow from your entire body. Any shadow that you're casting getting pulled into an ethereal form onto it, and it pulls back. Next, what do you like to decide? Lyle or Petui are going first. Petui has a dexterity of +3.
Yeah, Petui has a higher dex score, so I'd say it makes sense for Petui to go first.
All right, who's going to play Petui here? Come on.
I think Malton and I have like been back and forth.
All right, what would you like to do?
Petui. What do you think,
He
Malton?
does not have Shillelagh, otherwise I'd say that.
An ice knife will only hurt our friends.
No more
Yeah.
ice knives, please. I beg.
Didn't even
Man,
let fucking cure
Thorn
wounds
whip
today.
or what? Thorn whip him or whack
Yeah,
him
thorn-
with the staff.
Thorn whip is probably the best option here.
So it's a dexterity saving throw for me.
It's a melee spell attack.
Oh, a melee spell attack. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
So yeah, Petui might as well do it on this guy who's right the fuck up front.
and it's a +5.
Yep,
Plus
+5.
5.
3
Alright.
+2.
$13.
13 to hit. That hits.
Alright.
Okay, so it's a D6, and you can pull him. You can choose to pull him up to 10 feet closer to Petui.
All right. Roll
One.
damage. 1.
And yeah.
All right.
Yoink.
That's 1 point of damage. How are you pulling him close?
He did.
Yeah.
All right. Very well.
I guess that's Petui.
Is that him? All right.
Oh,
Next.
actually, does he get his He,
Wild shape.
He's Circle of the Shepherd, right?
Yes.
wanted
Yes,
to
he
see
is.
if he got his totem back yet.
Does the totem come
Short
back
or
from-
long rest.
Okay, so
Okay,
he has
so
his
he
totem
does.
available.
He has his totem and it's a bonus action.
All right.
It seems
I
like a
don't
good
know
time for-
anything about. I don't know anything about his totems.
let's see, Bear Spirit is HP. Hawk Spirit is use reaction to grant advantage to an attack roll. That's pretty good. And then Unicorn Spirit is max healing. Or no, not max healing. It's extra healing.
Bear or unicorn is my opinion.
Say unicorn since they're already that close.
Well, Bear is guaranteed health to everyone.
Yeah, that's why I said.
I would lean towards the Bear totem.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like the bear totem. Means I'm gonna die a little bit less.
All right. The Bear totem isn't corporeal, but we can go ahead and take the panda token. Pop this bad boy
Where are you putting it?
here, I guess.
All right.
And then it's a 30-foot radius. All of us are, of course, in
Is
that.
down.
So we're all gonna get 5 plus Druid level HP, so 8 temp HP. And then, of course, we have advantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Who typed boobies on my fucking calculator?
That's been there for several sessions. I thought you did.
I don't use it.
I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure you
I
did.
didn't.
I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so is that Tui's turn?
Yeah, it's an action and a bonus action.
Right, Lala.
Great, still playing. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and put a hand on Darian's back, give him a good old cure wounds. D8. He'll be getting back 10 HP.
Wow. Nice.
And
Healing?
yeah,
Yeah, 39 is the temp number.
cool. All right,
37 is my HP. 39 was the max with the bonus 8.
gotcha.
Well, the bonus HP continues to be on top of your HP. So
Yes, that's what
Which is why he's
I was below that. Yeah.
he's technically still missing. 39 is the max with the
My
10
HP could be. Yes.
Right.
So he's 2 health down.
okay, I got you.
I didn't want to redraw the thing.
Got you.
Mark off my
I'm on the
spell
same
slot.
page now.
Then I'll go ahead and use a bonus action. I'll say you've got their weakness. You've got this, Darian. Give you some good old puppet inspiration from my chest of inspiration.
Nice.
There we go. Mark
Good.
that one off. And now, because I'm feeling a little bit crazy, I'm going to move. I'm going to provoke an attack and move here.
Oh, you're provoking from this one? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Alright. It's taking it.
I'm using fighting style protection reaction on that to pose disadvantage on the attack.
Alright. I roll again. That is a natural one. Alright. You scoot away and the creature reaches out towards you as you feel the shadows kind of pull you in. Darian looks behind him and just breaks the contact between the shadows with his shield.
I will say, as I'm moving away, I have something of a wicked grin on my face that fades when Darian blocks, and I'll say, "Oh, thanks, but I had a plan." Okay. That's what you get for trying to use Hellish Rebuke offensively, I guess.
Yeah, you tried. It was worthwhile endeavor.
Alright, that's me.
Alright, sad to sad.
As
Show me what you
you
got.
say that, I'm like, my job is to protect you, even from yourself.
The creature in front of you goes,
Yeah.
Good luck on the transcribing.
Alright, Zad?
I'm going to take the disengage action.
Alright,
My happy ass away from this fight.
alright. No attacks of opportunity yet taken. And he
Yeah,
would be
but
able
it
to
left me
anyways.
with
You don't
not
need
being
to.
able to do.
No, he already took his reaction, so
Oh,
you wouldn't
that's
need
true.
to anyways.
Yeah.
So, you still have
Alright,
your
that's
action.
true. Alright, then, these two need to make dexterity saving throws.
Which ones?
The
These
two that are actually next to each other.
Alright.
Can I move this ring for a second? Because I'm getting like a weird flickering over here.
Hold on.
Oh, that might be my fault. I'm like moving my cursor around a lot.
No, it's like the shadow didn't quite
Oh.
cut off here. I just wondered if I could. I can't move at all.
14.
Just do it. Just back and forth real quick.
Is it 14? It's either 14 or 15. I'm double checking now that
Oh,
you're
he's-
asking.
He's locked it.
I gotta go.
Yeah, 14.
No, fix.
No. It's only on a failure. 3.
Oh. So close to.
Oh, I muted myself in stream. Forgot about that.
Someone's going crazy.
Yeah. Annoying. That is how much? 3?
Mm-hmm.
3. Alright. 3 points of damage as the acid splash onto it, and you see it fall onto its form and sizzle as a creature. And it just falls through its visage and falls into the ground.
Yay for magical damage.
Alright. I'm assuming that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Question. How you said there was like a creature in the darkness that we can kind of see, right?
That was this
He
one.
ran at us.
Oh, that was the one that ran
Yeah,
at us.
charged at
Okay.
you.
I guess the only thing possible is to swing at it with my sword,
Alright.
just cause. See what happens.
Let me do attack.
I'm gonna attack this shadow truck. Six. It's +1. Attacks, right?
That does not hit. Yeah. Alright. Is that all you have, or do you have a bonus action?
Might as whoops. Might as well take a step forward.
Oh.
Right here.
So you're taking an attack of opportunity?
Yeah.
Alright. It'll take it. See you moving away. That is another natural 18.
It hits F16.
It will attack onto you with a that's fucking cocked. God damn it. Alright. Hold on. Alright. That is 7 points of necrotic damage as the creature looks to the side with unnatural speed and lunges forward with its claw to attack you. You feel a searing pain onto your shoulder as you push it off of you. And you feel almost you're not sure what the feeling is, but it's pain, not just physical, mental.
Rev, don't
Unsure.
forget you had 8 temp HP in case you didn't take off that first.
Oh, I had. I'm sorry.
From Fatui's bear totem, everyone got 8 temp HP. So and that goes away first. So if your normal max is 28, you should have had 36.
So I'm at 29 now.
Correct.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you.
And none of that's actual HP, it's just temporary HP that you took damage to.
Correct.
Perfect.
Is that everything you'd like to do?
Gonna think of something else I could like maybe say to someone or something, but yeah, I guess that's it for now.
Alright. It's the Shadow Charger's turn. And this is... It'll look around. And it'll retreat, slowly making its way out. Looking at the flames, always its constant gaze towards the flame as it backs out. I am going to...
Wait, doesn't Darian get an attack of opportunity?
You do?
No, he does not. He uses reaction to protect me.
Oh,
Ah, yep.
Shut up, Mats.
Sorry, I played fair.
Shut up, Mats.
you see, as soon as the creature touches the edge of the darkness, it just seems to dissipate into it. And I am going to need that would be Darian and Vile at this point to make me wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
If you are, remember, Kulu, if you are worried, you always have puppet inspiration. But I don't know what your wisdom score is. That's pretty good.
Shit. Totals?
I put it in the chat.
15.
15. Darian, as this creature starts backing out and dissipates, you see its beady red eyes following you with its gaze, and then they shift towards Vile. And you feel that pain from its charge onto you, and Vile, you feel the scratch that it left onto your shoulder burn and burn and sear into your brain. Vile, you take 5 points of psychic damage as this creature seems to transfer its suffering towards you. You can feel its writhing, the flames making it angrier and angrier as the shadows just has no form, chaotic, and your brain becomes a mess. And Darian, as it looks at you, you just see war. Once again, nothing you haven't seen before. You shrug off the pain, you shrug off the suffering, as if it was nothing. And this would be the creature's turn. Shadow One is going to once again give Darian the nibble.
I'm pretty tasty. Makes sense.
That is a 19 to hit. Oh wait. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
18s, yes.
Alright. You take 7 points of necrotic damage. What?
Nothing. I've just discovered something that I'm definitely not supposed to know.
How many?
What did you do? 7 points of necrotic damage.
I may have accidentally discovered that the fog of war doesn't matter when holding Alt on the map shows you the entire thing.
Oh no.
Maybe don't do that.
I will
Yeah,
try
don't
not
do
to do
that.
that. I was doing it to look at Darian's token better.
Well, it doesn't show tokens, which is fine.
Nah, it doesn't show tokens or anything.
That is
still.
interesting.
Yeah. Damage has been taken.
Alright. This would be Darian. It is your turn.
Where'd the charger go?
I already
It
went back into the shadows.
disappeared into the shadows.
Which direction did I see?
It went forward.
Yeah.
Now, as an extra action, right?
Mhm.
Can I throw a torch and then light a torch and swing it, or is that too many actions for one turn?
That is, you can light a torch with an item interaction. You can throw it with your action.
Sure.
Is that what
And
you'd
you
like to
don't? Do you have another torch?
Yeah, I got plenty.
Alright, where do you throw it?
We all
I'm
have
gonna throw it
torches,
where
right?
with the direction the thing ran.
Roll me a strength check.
Roll for yeet.
For yeet, got it.
Roll for yeet indeed.
Yeet.
That's a pretty big yeet.
18
It's
plus
good yeet.
3. What was the bear totem?
Oh,
it gives you advantage.
on strength checks.
Oh.
And roll again.
So roll for the
Critical-
nat 20.
Roll for critical yeet.
On a critical yeet, does it hit something that's over
nope,
there?
21.
21. You
Yep.
grab on the
I
torch.
completely forgot that.
Torch stops right in front of it. As you see the creature almost enthralled by the flames.
Okay, then for my extra act, like my actual action, I'm gonna light the second torch.
Sorry?
I'm gonna light my other torch. I have 5 more torches on me, so I'm gonna light another torch.
Yeah,
That's
that
my-
is your
and then that'll be my
item
turn.
interaction.
Yeah, and then that'll be my turn.
Alright?
And I'm gonna yell to the party. It seems scared of the fire.
Well,
Patui. What is Patui's AC?
Tui's AC appears to be 14.
14. That is a 13 to hit. That does not hit, as the creature reaches out towards him and just moves to the side and parries it with his shield. Yeah. And that will be its turn. Now it's Patui. What does it do?
just have him Thorn Whip again if you.
Thorn whip again. All right. Might as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
Alright, attack me. Hit me.
You roll it to re-roll it this time. I rolled it last time.
What is it? D6 for damage?
Well,
Yeah.
first you gotta make the
Gotta roll
attack
to attack.
It's still easier just to roll both at the same time.
You're a coward.
That is a 16 plus his modifier to
Yep,
hit
that hits.
21.
for a total of 4 damage.
4 damage. The Thorn Whip once
Can't
again
really
and wraps around
hold
this
closer.
ethereal form, grasping at whatever physical forms there might be in it, and attempting to pull closer, but there is no closer. So it just takes the piercing damage as the thorns,
Give Daddy a hug.
the thorns clenched into it. That be it.
I think
Yeah,
that would
yes.
probably be it. Yes.
Alright, Lila. Are you going to try it again?
I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the answer is yes, but one thing at a time. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out Snuffles
Oh,
as I just kind of casually circle around this thing, away from Darian's protective field. I'm gonna call out to the Shadow Charger. Running scared, are ya? He's getting mocked.
It's a wisdom saving throw for the charger.
alright. That is a natural 15.
Heck,
Just
that's okay.
snarls at you.
I am exactly where I want to be, and now I have his attention. That's me.
Alright. No, so you're not going to do the.
Oh no! I'm exactly where I want to be.
Oh, alright. Zad to Sad. Give me what you have.
Dexterity saving throw.
For which one?
This one.
Shadow
Alright.
1.
That is a 15.
Makes it.
Does it do anything?
No.
There you go. Just scoots out of the way, becomes shadow again, and then rises up in front of Darian. Bile.
I will now swing at this one
Give me
With
an attack,
advantage.
with advantage.
because you're flanking.
Get him.
Get him, Tiger. Oh, that's a natural 19.
19.
Good.
Go for that 20.
Give me
Get
that 20.
Let's see that 20.
Natural one. So it's a good thing we got the 19.
It's the opposite.
Um,
That's nice. Close enough. That hits, so give me the attack. You adding anything to the attack, or?
No.
Alright.
It's just the sword.
You're holding with both hands, so that would be 1d10, I believe. Am I correct?
I believe.
Alright, roll 1d10 plus your strength or dexterity modifier. Whichever one you use. Whichever one is highest, I guess.
Dex or which one?
Dexterity or strength.
I'm gonna use strength.
Right.
Yeah,
Roll a d10.
the bear.
This one.
Okay, cool. Three.
3 plus.
3, so 6.
Alright, 6 points of damage to. Oh, my other
Shadow
mouse
2.
fell. Shadow 2. You pull back and carve into the back of this creature, all the way up from its head down to its feet, and it just splits in half, and you see its body go and dissipates into shadow, and it's dead.
Next, I'll turn around. Five,
You have 5 more.
two, three,
1 more.
4. 5, and then I'll pick up that torch.
Alright, you pick up the torch. As a
What?
atom interaction, it's good enough to pick it up.
Then I'll pass.
Alright. It's the Shadow Charger's turn. Shadow Charger, seeing you get closer, will slowly back away. Charge forwards towards you. Let me do a doozy. Oof. That is a. Yeah. That is a 9 to hit. I don't think that hits you.
16.
Yep.
No.
It just bounces as you, as it charges towards you. You move to the side and parry it with your sword, the flat side, onto the bloated side of its head. Looks at you, snarls towards you, and that's his turn. Shadow 1. Going to attack. Darian.
That's me.
That is a 15. I don't think that hits you.
No.
It just reaches out towards you, parry you to the side with your shield. And then it's your turn. Gimme.
I'm gonna swing my torch at that one.
And yeah, you have advantage too.
Wing it.
Oh,
He
don't
doesn't
need
need
that.
it.
I
He
mean,
does
if this
not
one-
need it.
Wow. Torch
Yeah.
attack. Alright. Gimme.
Natural torch strike.
Roll the 2d6.
Do you think you need a puppet inspiration for this natural 20?
Maybe.
Nailed it.
Double ones. All right. What is your strength modifier? +4.
3.
+3. All right. That is a total of 5. You see as you attack with the torch, you saw it at first with the shadow charger, but now with this one as well. It doesn't seem to do that much damage. Was a total of shadow 1. Attack onto it. It's at some points it seems to almost strengthen them. Yeah, is that your turn?
I'm gonna drop my torch to the side and pull out my sword.
Right.
And then I'm gonna action surge and attack it.
Oh,
Oh shit.
give me that action, sword boy. God damn. Attack him.
Still got advantage.
Yep. Natural 18. Let's go for that 20.
There it is.
Darian's like, alright, fuck this stupid torch.
Fucking flame. Done.
Alright, that's 1d8.
Put these away.
About 2d8.
You got a D8 over here.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Another
better.
one. Nice. That's
8 total.
8
Plus
plus
three.
Plus
your
strength.
8. That's an 11. You strike it with your sword and you feel the same, a little bit of resistance, but you still cut through a bit of its form. And deals a significant amount of damage. Snarls towards you. Patui.
Patui. Gonna, yeah. Thorn whip.
Thorn whip. Can it move through?
I mean, he
Allies?
can always move. I
Yeah.
tried to move him and then someone just turned him instead. I was gonna have him move over here and then thorn
Right.
whip.
Stands at the entrance of the door and attack.
Oh, man.
Funny
Ooh,
do.
That's good. All right, give me the damage.
Lord, please.
1d6.
Lord, please.
4.
4.
Do you want to
Alright.
pull him?
Yes.
The thorn whip reaches out, and you see that it comes from the outside of the door, from the earth itself. The thorn whip reaches out towards it and wraps around the creature and crushes and crushes, and then as it's pulling, the creature just dissipates in midair as the creature is now dead.
Nice.
Lila,
Alright.
everyone turns towards.
I'm gonna begin walking forward. Well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna walk forward first. I have taunts to back up with aggression.
Oh, what? Real quick, can he move his totem on his bonus action or anything, or does
I
it have
thought
to stay there?
I think we realized that he couldn't do that.
Okay.
The first time he used it against the
I
pale
think
whip.
that's correct.
Yeah.
No, it's a bonus action. You can move it. I think he was just having it move for free. I think he thought it was once on your turn you could move it.
Oh wait,
It
no, I
still
think he
reaches
changed
me.
it. He changed it from one thing to one totem to a different
That's
totem.
what we'd
That's what he did.
realized. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
would you like to move it?
I'm thinking
You
it.
might as well move it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Put it up there where it's actually
go.
in use.
As I'm walking up, though,
Mhm.
there, wolf, 5, 10,
Head on your
25.
step.
I got one more step to make.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking,
Sassy step.
I'm speaking with Snuffles. I'm gonna say, "What? The girl issued you a challenge. You afraid of a 16-year-old or something? That's kind of pathetic."
That is a natural 16.
Once again, I just want his attention. Come here, bitch.
Would that be it?
That's me.
Zad.
Yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 COT.
Yeah.
One. Yeah, definitely in range. So dexterity saving throw for our charger, which it'll make.
It is a natural 17.
Yeah, it made it.
Alright. Vile. Face to face with this creature.
I mean,
Well, since Lila got his attention for that brief moment, I'm gonna do some swift dance movements.
Oh yeah.
And go behind it and swing at its back.
Look at this
Very
boy.
good.
Teleports
Wow.
behind you.
Go ahead. Give me the attack. Fancy dance moves.
Aw.
2.
Nope. You don't get advantage.
No.
No
advantage.
advantage.
Nope.
Because I thought it was distracted, so I never. Damn.
You do some fancy dance moves, and as soon as you are about to strike, you see its visage completely shift from what it was facing Lila. Now it's suddenly facing you. Its form just shifting to face you, and it just moves out of the way.
Come here, ugly.
And then I guess as my bonus action, I'm gonna just toss the torch kind of behind me and see if it'll illuminate a little bit more of the back area.
Alright, let me move him out of the way so
Since
that I can,
Darius, since Darian has the torch.
Darius.
give me. Oh wait, you just throw it behind you because you
Like
don't
yeah,
have an
kind of just
action.
like kind of like a small little toss
Yeah.
behind my back. Yeah.
The creature.
So it has further way to run.
It's dumb. It's. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's gonna go for Lila
Come on, man.
because the vial is right there.
I know.
Yeah, and then I'll.
You do some fancy moves. No, it was. It'll get closer to the edge, and it'll attack you. That's a natural 16.
I have 16.
Yeah. It deals. Oof. That is 8 points of necrotic damage as the creature slashes you again, and you feel that pain, that writhing pain and suffering impact your mind. And that is its actually 10.
Oh.
Damn, he's fast.
Disappears into the shadows.
Do you get an attack of opportunity on that or no?
Yep.
Crit him. Crit him.
At me. One shot me, boy.
A dangerous thing to say to the paladin, you fucking
Oh.
moron.
and then I'll divine strike.
Yeah, there you fucking go.
Yep. Paladin smite.
Sometimes you know it's coming. Sometimes you invite it upon
Sometimes you just feel it.
yourself.
I have a sixth sense for it now. It hurt me. Alright, go ahead, kill me. You know you want
Okay,
to.
so that's
It's a D10 and a D8.
How much are you using?
D10 and then D8, and then I'm using both spell slots.
So
Okay,
two
so it's
D8s.
2d8s.
So 2 D8s.
And it's also doubled because it is a critical hit. So 4d8 instead of 2, and 2d10 instead of 1.
Also, I suppose technically worth noting, since Divine Smite is it undead?
Well,
Because that does impact the damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It impacts the die he's rolling. So it's, if it's undead,
Oh.
he
You
gets
say-
2 more. If
How
it's
much
undead, he
is?
literally gets 2 more d8s.
Right, 2 more d8s then.
So yeah, there. That's all of them. He had already grabbed one. You'd already grabbed one.
All right, so 1, 2, no,
No,
1, 2,
that's
3,
no,
4.
that's
One more.
2d10s and then
2d10.
2d8s.
yeah,
Yeah.
so 2d10 plus 6d8. Goodbye, fool.
All right, roll them.
I don't think
I
it's
don't think
gonna
I don't think I'm net. Yeah.
hit R.
No.
R.
Or
Oh, R.
Yeah.
46
highlight
of
everything.
damage.
What? Holy fucking shit.
Plus your strength modifier.
Yeah,
So
plus strength.
46.
Oh, plus 3, so
49.
49.
Okay,
Almost
the creature
50 damage
is
again.
No, not even that. It's way more than that because the creature is vulnerable to radiant damage. So this
the
is
49.
no, the 46. Oh wait, it's total. Yeah, the 49 points of damage becomes 98 points of
Yeah.
radiant
That's
damage.
gross.
All right. What are you aiming for, Vile?
Do you really want me to say on stream? I'm just kidding. Um,
I mean, you know what he's staring at.
How would you like to end this creature?
how would I like to end this?
Yes.
Um,
Violently.
I think
About-
that's an
as it
inevitable
can get.
conclusion at this point.
Do I get to act it out? Do I get to do this?
Yeah, just tell me
Are
what
you-
you're doing and I'll give you a description of what it looks like.
Okay. I'll start with the slash to the stomach
All right.
from there. Yeah, from there if you want to.
Okay. So, Vile, as this creature attempts to move away from you, your eyes shine bright with sunlight energy as you, with an unnatural speed, look back behind you and swing with your sword. And as it arcs, you see a trail of light following it and slashes into its stomach, and it already splits it in half as the top half falls onto the bottom one, and you can see the singeing of the flesh, the ethereal flesh around its stomach. And you swing your sword to the side, and you see from the doorway in this immense darkness, of which not even your dark visions can penetrate, you see sunlight shine onto your sword, and you sink it deep into its neck, all the way up its head, and then pull back, slicing its head middle, and it just slowly slumps and dissipates into nothingness.
And then, as my bonus action, I'll heal myself a 50. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was kidding. That's a regular action.
Alright. And so, with this being done, the combat comes to an end as all creatures have been slain, and you look down onto the torch and
Alright.
and the torch just goes out.
I'm just still laughing. Crit me, he says.
It was time, you know? Why did the torch go out? Did I miss something?
It just did.
Okay.
Sometimes that's just how it is on this bitch of an earth.
It just happened.
Well, I strike another torch. My last torch.
Zed,
why
give
did-
me an Arcana check.
I can't because I can do that, but my token disappeared into darkness instead of.
As soon
I
as you
got it.
tried to move it, yeah.
Let's go ahead. Give me an Arcana check.
Man, anybody want to help?
Can we? I mean, if I can know.
You don't even know that this is happening. Zad was
Yeah.
all the way
Okay.
in the back.
Just roll 2 20s.
No, I wasn't. I was up here, next to, almost next to him.
Yeah, he was
I-
next to me.
I was
with-
over here.
Also, but it was in darkness.
Yeah,
So
Zad is also in the middle of darkness.
Yeah. And I said I struck my torch, but we roll these.
That is what I'm telling you to roll for.
So, yay.
killing it.
Would be if it wasn't a disadvantage roll.
Wow. No, killing it.
Yeah, he's still.
8 plus 6.
8 plus 6?
So 14. 14.
14. Looking at the torch on the ground, as soon as the creature dies and dissipates onto it, the flames flicker out. You sense a bit of summoning magic, almost as if the presence of the torch brought the creatures onto it.
Oh, great.
And I'm giving you this right before you strike your torch.
Well,
It's your choice if you wish to light it up.
you said it's total darkness, so I'm literally unable to see.
Yes. In this, you'd be able to see 5 feet in front of you. That's about it.
Okay. So we can just kind of hands out walk full. Why does he keep disappearing?
Because,
It's the shadow.
hold on, let me give you.
Yeah, dark vision people should have a light, right? Like a 5-foot light.
1 second. Let me grab everyone. Wait. Put away the pen real quick. Fuck.
And now Viles disappeared completely from you.
I'm in the shadow.
Yeah.
Miles gone
Yeah.
forever.
Hey.
Okay,
Alright.
cool. So I should be over here. Ish. Oh, I was like 2 off from the side. Yeah.
And so,
I don't like
Um,
how this is.
I'm gonna say
As-
be careful about lighting the torches out loud
as
to people.
the lights go out, and you all bask into this darkness, and as to what has just transpired, this is where we'll end the session. Whatever may wait in front of you, we'll discover next time. Yeah, it got real late. Combat was thankfully relatively quick. But yes.
I can explain.
This is where we'll end.
This needs to be saved.
I hope you all enjoyed yourselves.
I had so much fun with the puzzle.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you called out that crit. Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, so
I'm-
sometimes you just need to tell him to crit him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, crit."
Sometimes you don't need to be a bard to give inspiration. It's just
Oh my
it's just how the
God.
way some things go. Talking about that, you know what? No, next time. I'll think about it.
What the?
Don't worry about it.
What?
So, I thank you all, and I've been waiting for this specific to get to this dungeon. I am hoping you all enjoyed the dungeon crawl that we'll go through in the next few sessions, and I hope you
Name
don't
the
die.
session. Dungeon call?
Also, I
I would definitely name this session "Song of the Spirit."
Song
that
of the spirit.
sounds pretty good. I would. This is not to sound ominous or anything. I have told this to Malted. I would recommend everyone to make back backup characters, just in case.
Oh no.
It's
Yeah.
not that this is going to be extremely deadly, but there are chances, and I'd like to have that now before we keep on going, because it's still good to have for the entirety of the campaign, and this is a
I also-
threshold of which it would be good for you to have.
Easy. I got Darian, Darius, Daryl.
I do
forget
have a
Barry.
question. If we do die, let's say something does happen, someone dies, and we have that backup character. This backup character, do we start on the same level as everyone, or do we
You
go
start in the
back to
same level
one?
as everyone.
Okay. Okay.
The level maintains.
I bought a token, and that token is the same as I currently have.
Second
It's just
character,
Darian's
okay.
twins. Right.
Is there gonna be-
D4 baby.
No,
Are there gonna be what?
Yeah. nothing.
We can talk after the session, but essentially, I'd like everyone to at least think about backup characters and come to me with your ideas whenever you have them. And
I'd want to use the idea we originally discussed as my original character idea, because
mhm.
I think that's a character that best suited to starting from level 1, but I don't know.
I
We'll
have
see.
a twin brother that I never talked about. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Is his name Darian?
I'll never tell.
Right. Now, if you'll
His name
excuse
is-
me, I have
Yeah.
3 hours before work and I have not slept yet, so.
All right,
Yeah,
go
okay.
pass out.
Do your thing.
Jay, good stream or good game stream.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
You did
I'll
good, kid. You did good.
finish up
Goodbye,
stream,
everyone.
and goodbye, Mots. Or good night.
Bye,
months.
bye, Mots.
And whoever wants to hang out for a little bit, because I also have to pass out, I'll be here. Be right back. Alright, stream. Everyone that stayed, everyone that joined halfway through, thank you everyone for coming. Also, let me stop recording for YouTube. Bye YouTube, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Description, Discord, come and join, whatever. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you in the next video.